Chapter 5177. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty didn't give up. At the same time, they started to look for new allies. After all, they only had one extreme weapon, and it was too dangerous. They found the Z Mansion and the Gu family. They had already found out about the grievances between the Z Mansion and Lin Xian. The two of them were enemies, so they were prepared to work with the Z Mansion. In the Z Mansion main hall, the Z Mansion Lord looked at the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty expert and smiled. It was possible to work together, but the other party's alliance had too many extreme weapons. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty expert scoffed coldly. Okay, we have already found out. Although your Z Mansion didn't have an emperor, you have an extreme weapon, the Dragon Pattern Cauldron. I was right, right? The Z Mansion Lord's pupils constricted. Since you know, then I won't hide it from you. Okay, but let me make it clear. After killing Lin Xian, we have to share the Earth Emperor inheritance with him. That was not a problem. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty expert nodded. The Z Mansion Lord continued. He still had two treasures on him, the Heaven-Swallowing Jar and the Great Dragon Sword Soul. The Great Dragon Sword Soul belonged to the dragon race, and they didn't want it. But the Heaven-Swallowing Jar had to be given to them. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty old ancestor's expression was dark and cold. He thought about it for a long time before nodding. Okay, no problem, it's a deal. The Z Mansion Lord smiled. Then, he wished them a happy cooperation. After that, the Violet Palace Realm cultivators also began to search for Lin Xian. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty came to the Gu family. They discussed with the Gu family. The Gu family was a little hesitant, but under Gu Feng's insistence, they agreed to work together. Gu Feng really wanted to kill Lin Xian. Moreover, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty agreed that once Lin Xian died, they would give the Gu family a copy of the 9-Yang God Body and the Emperor's ancient scripture. The Gu family didn't care about other things, but having an Emperor's ancient scripture was really important to their development. They couldn't reject it. Just like that, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gathered two powers. This way, even if they were in danger, they could take out 3 extreme weapons to block. It could be said that their strength increased by several times. All of a sudden, the situation of Lin Xian and the others became even more dangerous. On the other side, inside the sword world, Lin Xian had been cultivating. His cultivation had improved a lot, but there was still a long way to go before he could break through to the Great Sage Intermediate. However, compared to when he had just broken through, his realm was much more stable. His strength was also growing steadily. But right now, there was one thing that gave him a headache, and that was that he was unable to leave the sword world. As soon as he left, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people would discover him and hunt him down. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty could gather countless resources to revive extreme weapons, but he couldn't. He couldn't afford it. Therefore, he had to think of a way. Lin Xian frowned. It was all because of the damn curse of the Dragon Prince. He tried to use the Great Dragon Sword Soul to destroy it. However, it was released by the Dragon Prince before he died. It was very strange. For a moment, he was actually unable to destroy this power. He called the Hellfire Dragon over. The two of them discussed. The Hellfire Dragon studied for a while, and finally came up with a solution. Using the Great Dragon Sword Soul as a seal, he temporarily sealed Lin Xian's aura. This way, he could avoid detection. However, he couldn't use the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul. This was very dangerous for Lin Xian. After all, the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul was equivalent to the Heaven-Swallowing Jar. It was equivalent to half an extreme weapon. Lin Xian thought about it and said, "It's fine. As long as they don't use extreme weapons, I don't need to use the Great Dragon Sword Soul. As for the others, they aren't enough for me to use the power of the Great Dragon Sword Soul." This wasn't a long-term plan. Lin Xian knew that he just wanted a chance to get out. After getting out, he would find a way to break this curse. Next, Lin Xian used the Great Dragon Sword Soul to seal his aura. Then, he walked out. After leaving this world, Lin Xian began to wait. He waited for 5 days, but no one came. He heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, this method was temporarily feasible. Next, he had to find a way to break it. With a wave of his hand, a black robe appeared on his body and covered his body. Then, he tore open the void and disappeared. Regarding the matter of Lin Wudi and the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, the entire buried Emperor Star was shocked. At the same time, another matter swept out. At first, it was only in a few clans. Later, it spread in all directions. The first to receive the news was the Golden Crow clan. However, they weren't able to block this news. Soon, the other clans also found out. This matter didn't happen on the buried Emperor Star. Instead, it happened outside the buried Emperor Star. In the starry sky, there was a sun near the buried Emperor Star. It was abnormally terrifying. When the people who returned from outside the universe passed by, they discovered that the sun had changed. There was an illusion of a palace on it. It was abnormally mysterious. Some people even tried to investigate it, but they were burned by the terrifying sun god flame. However, there were still experts who returned and recorded it with a formation. The illusion of the Sun Palace was transmitted back. After the Golden Crow clan obtained it, they were shocked. They discovered that it was the Sun God Palace. This shocked them. Their Golden Crow clan used to live on the sun. It swallowed the flames of the sun to form the Golden Crow flame. It was extremely terrifying and was revered by countless people. Apart from that, there was only one person who could have such ability: the legendary Great Emperor Ziyang. The Sun God Palace was very likely Great Emperor Ziyang's palace. Thinking of this possibility, they were extremely excited. Everything related to the martial monarchs was mysterious and supreme. If they could obtain it, their clans would undergo earth-shattering changes. It was even possible that a Golden Crow Great Emperor would appear. How could they not be excited? Therefore, the first thing they thought of was to block the news and quickly move out. They headed to the Sun God Palace. However, this news wasn't obtained by their clans. Therefore, it was too late for them to block it. The other clans and sects had also obtained it. Soon, someone recognized that it was the Sun God Palace. It was very likely that it was Great Emperor Ziyang's palace. Heavens! Was there a Great Emperor's inheritance inside? Even if there wasn't, there would definitely be relics and cultivation techniques left behind by a Great Emperor. Perhaps they could comprehend the Tao of a Great Emperor. Countless people went crazy. At this moment, they prepared to head to the Sun God Palace. The news spread very quickly. It spread from Taiching ancient city and swept across the Alcade continent. Then, it swept across the entire buried Emperor Star. Countless people learned about it. At this moment, the eyes of the clan of the ancients and the great sects were all red. Soon, peerless experts headed over. However, the news came again. Those who went were blocked. What was going on? Everyone was terrified. Could it be that they could only look at the Sun God Palace but not enter? Soon, they found out. This Sun God Palace was extremely mysterious. When ordinary great sages entered, they would be burned to ashes by the flames. As for peak great sages, they would be blocked by a barrier and unable to enter. Chapter 5178. There was a barrier. Very soon, these experts finished their investigation. Peak Supreme Saints were restricted by their cultivation and couldn't enter. In other words, only those below the peak of the Supreme Saint could enter. And because of the terrifying flames, ordinary Supreme Saints would definitely die if they entered. In the end, only those in the middle and late Supreme Saints could enter. After investigating, the clan of the ancients and the great sects quickly gathered their forces. They gathered the people of these two realms. Among them, the late Supreme Saints were mainly prepared to go with powerful holy weapons. Of course, they also saw this as an experience, so they also brought a group of outstanding genius disciples. In an instant, these people set off. Not only these families, the people of the emperor race also moved. Their families had produced emperors before. They also knew how terrifying an emperor was, so they couldn't miss anything related to the emperor. The Gu family, Yi family, Kuanpeng clan, and Phoenix clan all went. The Thousand Dragon Court also prepared to move. They sent out a portion of their people. Most of them were still searching here. Among them, they had discussed whether Lin Xian would go or not, but they quickly rejected it. If this kid was really so daring, he would be courting death. One had to know that the other party had a curse on him. Thinking about it, he should be staying in some magical place and couldn't come out. Once he went out, they would immediately find out. And this magical place, they guessed that it was very likely to be a forbidden land of death like Mount Eternal, but they didn't know how he got in. They guessed that Lin Xian wouldn't go, so most of the dragon race experts wouldn't go either. After all, the dragon prince had fallen. They could only kill Lin Xian to vent their hatred. They didn't care about the other treasures. When Lin Xian heard the news, he was also surprised. Sun God Palace? He didn't expect another emperor's palace to appear. To be honest, he was very tempted. He needed the power of the earth more than those emperor races. The Hellfire Dragon was also surprised. Sun God Palace, Emperor Zi Yang's palace? Incredible, he didn't expect it to appear at this time. Lin Xian said, "You know this emperor?" The Hellfire Dragon said, "I heard that this emperor is also very terrifying." Purple Sun God Fire was terrifying. It was said that when he was young, he once fought with the Golden Crow clan. He swept through the Golden Crow clan. The Golden Crow clan was on the verge of decline. Later on, he fought all over the world and became a great emperor. Brat, going there is good for you. After all, you also cultivate the 9 Yang divine body. And there was another possibility. If you can find a strand of Purple Sun divine fire, perhaps I can use the divine power of the flame to burn away your curse. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Really? Right now, this curse was giving him a huge headache. Of course it was real. If it was really the flame left behind by the great emperor, the Dragon Prince's curse would be nothing. All right, let's go to the Sun Palace as well. Lin Xian's figure flashed as he quickly flew towards the outer space. In the starry sky of the universe, a sun shone brightly. From time to time, illusions of palaces would appear above it. What was even more shocking was that there were powerful beings entering the sun from time to time. They tore through the flames and arrived on the star. The sun was also a star, but it had flames on it. It was very terrifying. As a result, no living creatures could live here. Of course, this was not absolute. For example, the legendary Golden Crow lived above the sun. Apart from that, there were also some extremely terrifying living creatures that would appear here. There were few of them, but one of them was extremely terrifying. At this moment, a black-robed man descended from the sky. When he landed on the sun, the surrounding flames crazily rushed over, wanting to tear him to pieces. He let out a cold snort. The flames entered his body and disappeared without a trace. This black-robed man was Lin Xian. Others were afraid of the sun, but he felt very comfortable when he arrived. The flames here were invisible resources for the 9 Yang divine body. Therefore, Lin Xian felt like he was walking on flat ground here. This sun is really a good place. If I cultivate here, my 9 Yang divine body will probably improve a lot. Lin Xian was delighted. Soon, he squinted his eyes and looked around. His eyes emitted a terrifying light. The sun was too big. He did not know where the great emperor's palace was. It was just an illusion. It was very difficult to find. Lin Xian was suddenly stunned. He sensed a familiar aura. It was the aura of Samsara. The vagrant 6 Paths. Is the other party here too? Lin Xian had fought with the 6 Paths cultivator in the ancient city before. He was a very terrifying great sage. However, he was later suppressed by him and planted a mark on him, making him his battle servant. After that, Lin Xian had many things to do and did not pay attention to him. He did not expect the other party to come. He formed a seal with his palms and gave an order. Then, he waited with his hands behind his back. After about half a day, a figure flew over from afar with a terrifying aura. That person knelt on one knee and greeted the young master. "Get up," Lin Xian said indifferently. He nodded. "Your strength has increased a lot compared to before." The 6 Paths cultivator was very respectful. "Thanks to the young master, I have had a fortuitous encounter recently. If others saw this scene here, they would definitely be shocked." The 6 Paths cultivator was a terrifying great sage. He was an expert of the 6 Paths sect and an expert on the Saint Origin ranking. However, in front of Lin Xian, he was extremely respectful. "Tell me about the situation on the sun. Are there any clues about the Solar God Palace?" The sun is very big. Now, countless families, sects, and experts have already arrived. However, don't worry. There is a barrier here. Peak great sages can't enter. Ordinary sages are too weak. Most of them are mid-stage great sages and great sages. Everyone is still searching. However, I came early and did find some clues. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Oh, bring me there. He did not expect the Six Paths cultivator to be able to find clues. Young master, please follow me. The Six Paths cultivator led the way. Then, he began to tell Lin Xian about his previous experience. Actually, Lin Xian did not need him to say anything. He had already used his soul mark to check. The Six Paths cultivator saved a few people, and these people seemed to have found the Solar God Palace by accident. After flying for about a day, the Six Paths cultivator landed. There was a large crack in front of him, forming a small valley. There were flickering arrays around it. They were set up by the Six Paths cultivator. With a wave of his sleeve, a passage appeared in the array. The Six Paths cultivator invited Lin Xian in. The next moment, the array recovered, and the two entered the valley. In the valley, there were two figures. They looked very weak. They leaned against the mountain wall, and their eyes were a little dull. When they saw someone coming, their nervous bodies trembled. However, when they saw that it was the Six Paths cultivator, they were relieved. They heaved a sigh of relief. Senior, you're finally back. Soon, they were stunned. They saw that there was another person beside the Six Paths cultivator. It was a person in a black robe. The Six Paths cultivator was extremely respectful to this person. This made them puzzled. Who could make him so respectful? Chapter 5179. Tell me what happened to you. The Six Paths said in a deep voice. There were two young men in front of him. Their faces were pale and they were injured. Hearing that, one of the young men took a deep breath and said, the situation is like this. 5 days ago, a group of people from our family was searching. Gradually, we entered a valley. At first, we didn't think much of it. However, all of a sudden, terrifying flames erupted from the valley. Many demonic beasts rushed out and began to attack us crazily. Many of our family members died. It was our elders who risked their lives to escort the two of us out of here. But even so, we barely made it out alive. Those monsters chased after us. Fortunately, we met Senior. Otherwise, we would have been dead. Monsters? What kind of monsters were they? Lin Xian frowned. What else could live on the sun except for the golden crow? The two young men seemed to have thought of something. Their faces were filled with fear. They said in a trembling voice, crows. Crows surrounded by flames. They're too terrifying. We're from the fire family too, but our flames can't stop them. In fact, their claws could easily tear apart our defenses. Lin Xian frowned. The Six Paths said, they're fire crows, sun fire crows. They're beasts of heaven and earth. They're living on the sun and have swallowed endless sun fire. That's why they're so terrifying. When I saved them, there were only a few chasing after them. That's why I was able to save them. If there were so many sun fire crows, I wouldn't have been able to do anything. I might have even died. So that was the case. Lin Xian finally understood. He looked ahead and said, do you still remember that valley? Take me there. Hearing that voice, the two young men were stunned. Because the voice was also very young. They were very surprised. In their opinion, the person who could make the Six Paths so respectful should be an extremely terrifying old monster. But now, they felt that the other party was a young man. However, they soon forgot about this matter. Because the other party's words made them terrified. Go to that valley again? They quickly shook their heads. Senior, please spare us. It wasn't easy for us to come out alive. If we go in again, we might die. Don't worry. With me here, you'll be safe. Lin Xian said faintly. He felt that the valley was very likely a clue. Therefore, he would not miss it. The two of them hesitated. Did the Six Paths face darken? Do you dare to disobey, young master? Do you believe that I won't care about you right now and bury you in the sun? The two of them were shocked. Young master. The black-robed man in front of them was indeed a young man. At the same time, they were terrified. Senior, please spare my life. Young master, please spare my life. We'll go. We'll lead the way, all right? Next, the two of them began to lead the way. The further they went, the more terrifying the flame aura became. The temperature of the entire void was enough to turn a saint into a bloody mist instantly. The two young men could not hold on any longer. The two of them were from the Lee Fire clan and were geniuses. Previously, they had come here with the elders of the clan. They were here to gain experience. The ones who truly made a move were the elders. They didn't fear following the elders. If they had to go by themselves, they wouldn't be able to reach it. Luckily, Lin Xian and Six Paths Scattered Cultivator were here to help them defend against the flames. Only then could the two of them fly safely. After flying for about 5 days, they stopped. Vagabond Six Paths said that this was the place where I saved them. Look, there are still traces of battle around, but the corpses of the Sun Fire Crows are gone. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden light as he looked around. He nodded and said, "Let's continue." The group continued forward, but Six Paths didn't know where they were going to go. He could only rely on these two young men. Finally, after flying for another 5 days, they arrived. There was a valley in front of them. From the outside, it looked simple and undangerous, but the two young men did not dare to go in. Lin Xian looked at Six Paths and said, "Let's go in and take a look." Six Paths Scattered Cultivator's body flashed and flew in. After entering, the surroundings were extremely quiet. Six Paths kept walking forward. Suddenly, a huge fire erupted in front of them. Then, countless fire crows appeared and attacked Six Paths. Six Paths' pupils constricted as he punched. Six Paths' fist shattered everything. Many fire crows turned into bloody mist. However, there were too many fire crows. Six Paths was terrified. He was no match for them and quickly retreated. He left the valley. Wanting to enter the valley by himself? Wasn't he overestimating himself a little too much? At that moment, a cold laugh came from afar. Then, a few people walked over. The leader was a man, and behind him were 2 old men and a middle-aged woman. There were not many people, but they were extremely calm. "Who are you?" Six Paths frowned. The 2 young men were indeed shocked. They were from the Skyfire race. The people in front looked at the 2 young men and snorted. "Who are you?" "It's the Lee Fire race. You can't enter with just the few of you." The Lee Fire race quickly scram. The 2 young men were so scared that they did not dare to speak. They were no match for the other party. The other party was from the Skyfire race. They were extremely powerful. Six Paths was angry. "You want us to leave? You want us to leave?" The man from the Skyfire race laughed. "I know why you're here. Aren't you looking for the Sun Palace? Let me tell you, we actually have some clues." "Oh, you know?" Lin Xian was shocked. Six Paths snorted coldly. "Since you know, just say it." "Ha!" The man from the Skyfire race laughed. "You want to know? You don't have the right. We only sell clues to those with strength. As for the Lee Fire race, you don't have the strength even if you pay 10 times the price. You're courting death." Six Paths was furious. The other party thought that they were from the Lee Fire race. Unfortunately, he was not. Lin Xian was not either. Six Paths' fist punched out. It pierced through heaven and earth. The man from the Skyfire race's pupils constricted. He was originally disdainful of the Lee Fire race. However, the other party's punch was too terrifying. It was not the ultimate skill of the Lee Fire race at all. "Damn it, you're not from the Lee Fire race." He quickly retreated. An old man behind him walked out. He struck out with his palm. Terrifying flames shone brightly, illuminating the surroundings. It collided with Six Paths' fist. An earth-shattering sound rang out. Then, they both took 3 steps back. The old man's arm trembled as he sucked in a cold breath. The Six Paths frowned. His fist was scorched black by the fire. It seemed that the old man was not weaker than him. If they really fought, it would be hard to tell who would win. Seeing this, the young man from the Skyfire race laughed again. "So what if you're not from the Lee Fire race? You can at most fight against an elder. We have 2 experts on our side. Can you fight against them?" Chapter 5180. The people of the Skyfire tribe were confident that they would be able to defeat the other party. Damn it! The scattered Six Paths was enraged and his face turned cold. Lin Xian walked out and waved his hand, saying, "Let me do it." The scattered Six Paths lowered his head. "Please forgive me. I am useless." Lin Xian shook his head. Don't worry. He walked forward and said, Lead the way and I will spare your lives. Who are you? The Heavenly Fire Prince frowned and stared at the other party. You don't even dare to show your face? Buzz. He sneered. Suddenly, he saw the black-robed man raise his head and a golden light flashed in his eyes. In the next moment, he held his head and screamed. A strong soul power surged into his mind. It wanted to tear his soul apart. Not good. It's a soul attack. Protect the young master. The two elders beside him roared. At the same time, the middle-aged woman waved her hand and a flaming sword shot towards Lin Xian. With a clang, Lin Xian stretched out 2 fingers and flicked it. The flaming sword shattered, and the woman's arm turned into pieces. She screamed as she retreated. So strong. She was terrified. The other 2 elders also looked like they were facing a great enemy. Who are you? Buzz. As soon as he said that, his pupils dilated, and he realized that the black-robed man had disappeared. When he reappeared, he was behind him. A hand grabbed his head. I don't like nonsense. I have given you a chance. If you don't cherish it, you can go to hell. With a wave of his hand, the other party's soul was destroyed. The elder fell to the ground. Is he dead? The remaining people's pupils constricted. The other party had killed one of their elders with a single move. That's too scary. Retreat. They quickly retreated. Lin Xian sneered. You want to leave now? Another 2 fingers pointed forward. Demonic god finger. The other elder spat out blood. His forehead was pierced, and he died again. Only the Heavenly Fire Prince and the middle-aged woman were left. The middle-aged woman said, Don't kill us. We admit defeat. We will lead the way. Kneel down and submit. Lin Xian's expression was cold. He didn't kill them. Instead, he used an eye technique on them. Their souls were in intense pain, and they wanted to resist. Lin Xian said that those who resisted would die. The 2 of them didn't dare to resist, and an imprint was planted in their souls. In the next instant, the golden light disappeared from Lin Xian's eyes. The 2 of them lowered their heads respectfully and greeted the young master. Lead the way. Lin Xian waved his hand. The 2 of them stood up and led the way. Come here, said 6 paths. The 2 youths from the Li Fire race followed. They were dumbfounded. That black-robed man was too powerful. After all, those were 2 elders of the Skyfire clan. No matter how powerful he was, he couldn't even withstand 2 moves from his opponent. Could it be that this black-robed man only had a young voice, but was actually an incomparably terrifying old monster? Their scalps went numb. At this time, the 2 of them felt a wave of sleepiness sweep over them, and they closed their eyes. He fell to the ground. Lin Xian waved his hand and erased a part of their memories. Then, he tore open a crack and sent the 2 of them away. Leave this place. Solar God Palace isn't a place you can come to. The 2 of them no longer had any memories of him. Lin Xian didn't kill the 2 of them and sent them away safely. Then, he continued to move forward. The 2 from the Skyfire clan led the way. The 2 of them had completely submitted, so they told him everything they knew. It wasn't the first time they had led the way. They waited near the valley to lead the way for the experts. Of course, it wasn't free. They had to pay a great price. However, they met Lin Xian this time and kicked an iron plate, so they were subdued. Previously, many experts had already entered. Moreover, they had said that they definitely weren't the ones who knew the clues, so there should be more people going to Solar God Palace than expected. Lin Xian also knew this. After all, those who could come here were all experts, and no one was weaker than anyone else. So what if there were more people? He had to get what he wanted. Countless people were searching for Solar God Palace, but on this day, they were shocked. The reason for that was because they had discovered that some extremely powerful individuals were walking over. One of them was surrounded by demonic chi as if he walked out from hell. Heavens, it was the 9 underworld demon king from the Z Mansion. He was a figure from 10,000 years ago, and he actually came. There was another person who was surrounded by golden flames and had powerful wings that covered the sky. Once he appeared, the entire sun boiled, and countless people were terrified. The people from the Golden Crow clan laughed heartily. Great. It's our Golden Crow clan's Golden Fire Saint. He is here. This time, we will definitely win." After that, a man with a battle saber on his back descended from the sky and tore everything apart. The surrounding flames of the sun were all extinguished. The Sky Rock clan's expert, the Sky Feather Saber Sovereign. There was another person who was surrounded by powerful flames and had the aura of a dragon. It was the Scarlet Flame Dragon Sovereign. One after another, terrifying figures appeared on the sun. Countless people were shocked. The ones who came this time were all extremely powerful saints. Who would be able to contend against them? Apart from them, the elders of the various clans and sects also arrived. They might not have titles, but their strength was not to be underestimated. After all, they had lived for countless years. Once they used their trump cards, it would be shocking. The arrival of these people allowed them to use their great divine abilities, allowing them to find clues. "Let's go." All of a sudden, these people set off in the direction of Solar God Palace. Lin Xian didn't know that these people were coming, but he guessed that there were many experts. At this moment, their speed was very fast. With the people from the Skyfire race leading the way, they were unobstructed. Finally, they sensed a vast and primordial aura. The power was frightening, and Six Paths took a deep breath. He could feel the immense pressure. This wasn't an ordinary flame. It was the sun god fire, the palace of a great emperor. The aura on it was enough to make him revere it. Lin Xian squinted his eyes. As expected of something left by a great emperor, the aura was shocking even from so far away. He hoped that the purple sun god fire would be able to dissolve his curse. After walking for another 3 days, the two people in front stopped. Young Master Heavenly Fire said, "Young Master, Solar God Palace is in front, but we don't dare to go over. It's too terrifying. With our strength, we can't withstand it." Lin Xian squinted his eyes and looked up at the sky. He realized that there was indeed a huge palace in front of them. Although it was still an illusion, it was much more solid. The two people were walking forward, but they couldn't stop him. Moreover, he had already controlled their souls. They wouldn't dare to lie. "So," he said, "you two should stay here." He walked forward, and the two people stayed there respectfully. Six Paths thought for a long time, then gritted his teeth and followed. Finally, the illusion of a palace appeared in front of them. There was endless Tao of fire on it. The terrifying divine fire was burning. It was as if the palace of the fire god had descended on the sun. Chapter 5181. Standing in front of this sun god palace, everyone seemed to become small and insignificant. The Six Paths' forehead was covered in cold sweat. It was too terrifying. It was as if he was facing a ferocious beast. Taking a deep breath, the two of them walked in. The Six Paths' body was surrounded by powerful laws to block the attack. Lin Xian was very calm. Even in front of the Sun God Palace, he was still not afraid. The two of them walked in. After entering, they saw a vast hall. Many people were watching inside. When they heard someone coming in, the people in front suddenly turned around. Their eyes were like blades, piercing through everything. Someone else came. Who was it? They were facing a great enemy. After all, everyone here was their opponent. They first saw a black-robed man standing there. There was a mysterious aura on him. This made them frown. Who was this person? They wanted to investigate, but they found that he seemed to be isolated from everything. They couldn't investigate. This person seemed to have a treasure on him. Soon, they looked at the Six Paths Supreme Sage. They all knew this person. He was quite famous. Could it be that this black-robed man was from the Six Paths sect? At this moment, someone sneered. Six Paths, you're quite famous. But this isn't a place you can come." This person had a powerful aura. He was an elder of the Skyfire clan and was very strong. He was very strong and had reached the level of a saint. Then, he frowned. What's wrong with the people outside? Why did they let such a person in? Should I kill him? Some people walked over. They were all powerful people. Some people frowned. Forget it. These two ants aren't worth our time. Let them come in and investigate. What if they really found something? We'll just snatch it. They were confident that they could control these two people. So, they ignored them and began to search on their own. Lin Xian and the Six Paths also looked around. There seemed to be many passages in this hall that led to different places. At this moment, Lin Xian's eyes flashed with golden light. He carefully investigated these passages. He walked toward one of them. After entering, he found that the passage led to a place that looked like a garden. This can't be a medicinal field, right? Six Paths was shocked. He searched carefully. Hearing these cries of surprise, the others also rushed over, each and every one of them overjoyed. Heaven was really a medicinal field. Get out of my way, you two. They roared and rushed over. However, they soon began to roar. Damn it! These spirit medicines had already withered and could not be used at all. From the looks of it, it had existed for too long. These experts shook their heads and sighed. They paid no more attention to him. Lin Xian walked up and grabbed all of the withered spirit herbs. It even took some of the seeds with it. Others felt that it was a pity, but he had the sword world, so he might be able to put these things in. It could even regrow and grow again. After all, the sword world was extremely mysterious. When the other saints saw this scene, they immediately shook their heads. This brat was collecting these withered spiritual herbs. What could it be? He still wanted to let them take root and sprout again? Stop joking. None of us can do it. How could he do that? Who did he think he was? It was the reincarnation of the great emperor. These people sneered. Lin Xian remained unmoved. In the end, Lin Xian even cut off the entire herb field and took it away. No one stopped him during the entire process, which made him happy. A group of fools. These people actually did not know about the good stuff in front of them and even mocked him. Humph. When these spirit medicines grow, their hearts will probably bleed. After keeping the herb field, Lin Xian left and returned to the main hall. He was preparing to explore the other tunnels. The surrounding people also began to try. These tunnels might be connected to some mystical place. Heavens, what is this? What a terrifying flame. Suddenly, a cry of surprise came from one of the tunnels. Immediately after, the saint from the heaven fire race retreated. His body was slightly charred. The others all gathered around and cried out in alarm. What had happened? The saint from the heaven fire race frowned. In the tunnel, there was an extremely powerful flame energy. I was forced out by him. Everyone was shocked. The power of the flames from the heaven fire race's saint was terrifying. He was actually forced out. It was imaginable how dangerous the flames inside were. They said, "Don't be in a hurry. Let's go to the other tunnels first." Looking at these people, they began to explore the other tunnels. But they realized that there were indeed good things in these tunnels. But they were all damaged. For example, he found a tunnel that led to the weapon pavilion. There were many weapons in there, which made people happy. However, as soon as one of the experts grabbed a sword, the sword was instantly reduced to ashes. Even the other weapons were shattered and scattered on the ground. Even though it was just a fragment, the light on it had disappeared. This made countless people sigh. Damn it! The weapons collected by the great emperor were so precious. If there was one, even if it wasn't an extreme weapon, it would surpass a legendary saint weapon. There was another person who found the book pavilion, which had many ancient books. He was wild with joy and wanted to take them away. But as soon as he moved, the ancient books were scattered with the wind. That expert was so heartbroken that he cried. Damn it, there were so many exceptional techniques and abilities. Were they all gone? The other tunnels were the same. For a moment, there was only one tunnel left in the main hall. That was the tunnel with the terrifying flames. During this process, Lin Xian and the Vagrant Six Paths also walked through it. The Vagrant Six Paths kept sighing throughout the entire process. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and frowned. Hellfire Dragon, how many tens of thousands of years ago was Great Emperor Ziyang? The Hellfire Dragon said, "Who knows? More than 100,000 years ago. Plus, this was just one of his palaces. It was normal for those things to be destroyed. Don't worry about those weapons. Hurry up and see if there's any purple sun godly fire. As for the others, you can at most feel the great Tao aura left behind by Great Emperor Ziyang. More than 100,000 years, maybe even longer. Those weapons and elixirs really didn't exist anymore. One should know that the legendary saint weapons could be passed down because the clan of the ancients worshipped them like treasures. Many saints used their lives to protect those elixirs, and they spent a lot of effort to cultivate them. But this palace was different. Inside this palace, there wasn't even a single person who was more powerful. Most likely, it would also disappear with the passage of time. But the tunnel filled with flames made him happy. Could that be the purple sun godly fire? Lin Xian walked forward. The other saints in the main hall also frowned. They were discussing whether they should work together to enter the tunnel of flames. At this moment, they were stunned. They discovered that a figure was walking forward. Who was it that didn't know the meaning of death? Soon, they saw that it was the black-robed man. Was it that guy from the Six Path School? Did he think that he could enter alone? What a joke. They snorted. The vagrant Six Paths followed beside him, feeling the piercing gazes behind him. But Lin Xian was very calm. He took a deep breath and rushed forward. The Six Paths loose cultivator followed closely behind. Chapter 5182. After Lin Xian entered, he felt a shocking flame energy sweeping towards him. It was as if it wanted to burn him to ashes. He snorted coldly and unleashed the power of his divine body as he strode forward. At the same time, he slashed open the void with his palm. This guy can actually withstand it. How did he do it? The saint experts at the back were all shocked when they saw this scene. Damn it, follow him. If there are treasures inside, we won't let him take them all. These people quickly followed behind him. Ahead, Lin Xian continued forward. The Six Paths beside him frowned when he sensed the scene behind him. Young master, he's using us to pave the way. Lin Xian said that it was fine. He knew very well what the people behind him were up to. He wouldn't let them succeed. Let's go in first. After entering, there was a large hall inside. The temperature of the flames was terrifying. There were flame runes on the surrounding walls. There was a pill furnace at the front of the hall. There was a pill fragrance coming from the pill furnace. Lin Xian's eyes lit up when he entered. There are pills? The Six Paths was also shocked. This faint fragrance. He took a deep breath and felt the power in his body boil. This can't be an immortal pill, right? He was shocked. The sages behind him were also shocked. Great. A person rushed over in an instant. Scram. Lin Xian punched out. The resplendent light of his fist was like the sun. Immediately, the figure was sent flying. His body was pierced and torn into pieces. He screamed and quickly retreated. Despicable guy. You dare to hurt me? The surrounding people were also stupefied. That was a saint. He was actually injured by a single punch. This was too unbelievable. Who was this person? Lin Xian waved his sleeve and tore open a crack in the void to stop those people. He said loudly, "You used my power to pave the way so you could reap the benefits. What a good plan. But don't you think you're too naive? Now, just stay there and watch. Whoever dares to come over, I will send them to hell." Lin Xian said coldly. The faces of the experts behind him were cold and gloomy. You alone dare to threaten all of us? Are you out of your mind? Let's kill him together. Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, Lin Xian coldly harumphed. He pointed out a finger, which transformed into a peerless divine sword, and attacked forward. The person who spoke had his glabella shattered, and his soul was injured. He screamed and retreated. How dare you team up with others to attack me? Do you think I don't dare to kill you? Lin Xian's eyes shone with a terrifying light. Kill. The power of his soul rushed out. That saint roared. You dare? He raised his head and roared. His hands opened and closed, turning into countless saber lights. Every single one of them carried an extremely powerful law as they slashed down from the sky. A great battle instantly broke out. Lin Xian was not afraid. Previously, when Lin Xian's strength increased, he was already able to contend against a saint. But later on, Lin Xian obtained the Dragon Prince's flesh, which contained supreme power. During this period of time, Lin Xian had absorbed it, and his strength had undergone a tremendous change. Regular saints were not a match for him. This person might be terrifying, but his strength was only average among the saints. At this moment, how could he be a match for Lin Xian? The battle ended quickly, and that person was smashed into pieces. His soul was pierced by the flames, and he screamed miserably in the air. He quickly fell. Everyone in the surroundings felt their blood run cold. A saint had died just like that? They didn't dare to believe it. Who exactly are you? The Sixth Tao sect already sent such an expert? Then why don't you dare to show your true face? Lin Xian stood with his hands behind his back and spoke coldly. Who am I? You don't have the qualifications to know. Get lost, or I will kill without mercy. Damn it. These people gritted their teeth. Someone transmitted a message, telling them to attack together. However, the person who transmitted the message was killed by Lin Xian. Another saint had fallen. The surrounding people were going crazy. Everyone, be careful not to transmit messages. That person's soul spirit was extremely powerful, and he could hear our soul spirit transmissions. Everyone's scalp went numb. Everyone had the intention to join forces, but there was no one who initiated it. They didn't dare to. No matter who initiated it, the other party would immediately kill them. This was intentionally breaking their alliance. For a moment, their faces turned ugly, and they didn't rashly make a move. But they didn't leave. At the same time, a few figures walked out from the sun god shrine. One of them had overflowing demonic chi, and another had terrifying flames. They were all powerful saints. They were extremely powerful and weren't comparable to regular saints. When they arrived at the sun god shrine, they saw many tunnels and quickly searched. They soon returned. There was nothing in those tunnels. Even if there were some things, they were all shattered due to the power of time. They couldn't be used. These experts looked forward. There were flames in that tunnel, and there were even auras that were swaying. There was obviously someone. Let's go. The few of them tore the void and rushed over. Inside the alchemy cauldron, the atmosphere was extremely tense. Lin Xian alone had frightened a group of experts. Those experts clenched their teeth. Damn it, don't be too arrogant. Do you want to monopolize all the immortal pills here? Six Paths Gate, you're too much. Do you really think we can't deal with you? These people clenched their teeth and prepared to send a signal to gather their companions and attack together. But at this moment, the void behind them shattered, and a few figures rushed over. At the same time, there was an astonishing power. Haha, there is indeed something here. My trip here wasn't in vain. What a fragrant aura. Could it be an immortal pill? It seems like an immortal pill refined by the arch. Cold light burst out from their eyes. More people came. The faces of the previous saints changed. They were overjoyed. This time, they could unite more people to fight against the black-robed man. Fellow Taoist, let's join forces. That's right. The guy in front is too despicable. Let's suppress him together. These people quickly shouted. But the person who came in snorted. Join forces? Who do you think you are to join forces with me? Scram, or you will die without a burial place. When these words came out, the entire hall became quiet. Those saints were stunned. Who is so arrogant? Why is he even more despicable than the black-robed man? Skyfire Sage's face turned gloomy. Aren't you going overboard? He struck out with his palm, and the person behind him walked out from the passageway. Are you courting death by attacking me? Similarly, he struck out with his palm. Both of their palms were burning with flames. Under countless gazes, they collided. A deafening sound rang out as the fire nomological laws danced in the air. Kacha! Skyfire Sage was sent flying. One of his arms had been shattered. He fell to the ground and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. An ant that couldn't even withstand a single blow. The figure behind him sneered. The surrounding people were stunned. Who was it? So powerful. Another peerless expert had appeared? They looked over. Chapter 5183. In the next moment, they cried out in surprise. That was because they saw a man surrounded by flames walking out. It had a pair of golden wings on its back, which gave off a powerful and scorching aura. It was an expert from the Golden Crow clan. Many people were shocked. Not only that, their scalps went numb because they realized that this was not an ordinary expert of the Golden Crow clan. It was a famous expert of the Golden Crow clan, the Golden Fire Saint. No wonder the elders of the Skyfire clan were defeated. The Skyfire clan was much weaker than the other party. The elder of the Skyfire race stood up and healed his broken arm. His expression was ugly. So it was fellow Taoist Golden Fire. I didn't know it was you. So I've offended you. He quickly apologized and retreated to the side. I'll spare your worthless life. If you dare to go against me again, I'll destroy your soul. The golden fire sage snorted coldly. He stood there with his hands behind his back and looked around. Soon, he stared at the pill furnace in front of him, and an extremely cold light burst out from his eyes. He had to get the pills inside. When he saw Lin Xian and Six Paths, he frowned. The two of you, get out of here. Otherwise, I'll destroy your souls. The elder of the Skyfire race said quickly, Fellow Taoist Golden Fire, these two people are very arrogant and want to take the treasure for themselves. The two of them are from the Sixth Taoist Gate and are very strong. Fellow Taoist, be careful. After the Golden Fire sage heard this, he frowned. He still dared to take the treasure for himself? Humph. So what if it's the Sixth Taoist Gate? Since it dares to go against us, it will definitely die. Who would dare to monopolize the treasure? At this moment, another cold voice sounded. A second figure walked out of the tunnel. What followed was a terrifying aura. The entire hall darkened. Everyone's bodies swayed as they quickly retreated. Lin Xian also frowned. What a familiar aura. The Six Paths cultivator's face paled. What terrifying demonic chi. Were they from the demon race? The figure that walked in was clad in black armor, and the demonic aura around him was overwhelming. He was as tall as a demon god, and as soon as he entered, he suppressed the surroundings. The experts at the side cried out in alarm. The Nine-Nether Demon King. He actually came too. Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. The Nine Underworld's Devil Monarch was from the Z government, an expert from 10,000 years ago. Back then, he had been sealed in ice, and now that he had awakened, he did not expect to be here too. The Golden Fire Saint snorted coldly. Nine Underworld's Demon King, you don't cultivate the sun flames of the purest yang, right? What are you doing here? The Nine Netherworld Demon Emperor said coldly. He was here to search for treasures and opportunities. He wanted to see if martial monarch Ziyang had left any successions behind. He didn't see the cultivation technique, but he did see the immortal pill. Another voice rang out. Everyone in the main hall was stunned. This time, they saw two figures arrive one after the other. Their auras weren't any weaker than the Nine Nether Demon Monarchs. This made them panic. It seemed like they had no chance. Elder Tianhua and the rest looked at Lin Xian and sneered. They had no hope, and neither did the black-robed man in front of them. Just watch, the other party will definitely die. Of the two people who came in later, one of them was surrounded by a powerful light and had a saber on his back. It was the Heavenly Feather Saber Monarch, an expert of the Heavenly Rock race. The people behind him strode forward like dragons and tigers. The flames on their bodies transformed into the shadow of a dragon as they roared towards the sky. An expert of the 10,000 Dragons Court, the Red Flame Dragon Monarch. The arrival of the four experts made the surrounding people feel despair. With the four of them here, the others had no hope at all. After the Sky Featherblade Monarch arrived, he looked ahead and exclaimed. Martial Monarch Ziyang was someone from tens of thousands of years ago. The other things he left behind were all broken. He didn't expect there to be a pill furnace here. If the pill furnace was complete, it would definitely be an immortal pill. After I eat it, I might be able to break through and become a peak great saint. It's mine, the Red Flame Dragon Monarch said firmly. The Golden Fire Saint frowned. You guys seem to have forgotten that the sun is the territory of the Golden Crow race. The things here naturally belong to the Golden Crow race. The few of them we're discussing here. A terrifying aura spread out in all directions. The other saints retreated to the side. They didn't have the right to speak. The Six Paths Wanderer's face was extremely ugly. He said softly, Young master, why don't we retreat? These people weren't ordinary saints. They were extremely terrifying, especially the Nine Nether Demon Monarch. He was someone from tens of thousands of years ago. His methods were extremely powerful. No worries. Lin Xian shook his head. He wouldn't leave. He was here to find the Purple Sun Divine Flame. There might be a wisp of the Purple Sun Divine Flame in this pill furnace. He had to get it. As for the pill furnace, he would take it if there was one inside. He urgently needed power. Therefore, he turned around and looked at the pill furnace. The four great sages were still discussing and even arguing at the back. Suddenly, the golden crow sage shouted angrily, "Damn it! How dare you touch the pill furnace? I'll make you wish you were dead." The heavenly featherblade monarch also said, "I think we should divide the things inside equally." The four of them were afraid of each other. If they really fought, it would be hard to determine the winner in a short time. They might even get injured and let the others benefit. Therefore, they decided to divide the things inside equally. Since they had finished discussing, the Golden Crow Sage looked forward and said coldly, "People of the Six Paths sect, I'll give you a chance. Leave this place and I won't kill you." The Six Paths Wanderer was so scared that he couldn't speak. Lin Xian looked back at them and said indifferently, "The things inside are useful to me. I want them. You guys can leave." His indifferent voice was like a clap of thunder. He wants them. The surrounding experts sucked in a breath of cold air. Who would dare to say such words in front of the four saints? Is this black-robed man courting death? Could it be that he thought that he could contend against the four great saints? What a joke. Those people shook their heads. The elder of the Sky Fire race revealed a sinister expression. This kid will die without a doubt. That's for sure. Not only will he die, but he will also die miserably. The Golden Fire Saint was infuriated as well. "I wanted to spare your life. Since you want to die, don't blame us." The Golden Fire Saint army took a step forward, and the surrounding people also walked up. The Six Paths Wanderer was suppressed by this force. He spat out a mouthful of blood and kept retreating. Cracks appeared on his body. Ha 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 ha. Seeing this scene, the four saints sneered in disdain. Lin Xian couldn't even block their aura. How dare he talk so arrogantly? Aren't we thinking too highly of him if we attack together to kill such an ant? He's not qualified for us to attack together. The red flame dragon monarch snorted. The golden crow sage walked out and said, "Why don't I kill him?" "Don't worry. One move is enough." The others nodded. They weren't surprised. In their opinion, the people in front of them couldn't fight against them. The Golden Fire Saint walked out and looked at Lin Xian. He said coldly, "Die. I'll kill you with one move." He stretched out his palm. Lin Xian turned around, a cold glint in his eyes. "Are you challenging me?" Chapter 5184. The Golden Fire Saint's face sank. What was the meaning of the other party's tone? He couldn't tolerate that condescending tone. "Who do you think you are? Die for me." He struck out with his palm, and the vast flames turned into a golden crow that flew forward. The power of this move was terrifying. The other saints couldn't block it at all, and would be instantly torn into pieces. As expected, when the surrounding experts felt this aura, they quickly retreated. It was too strong. They couldn't block the other party's palm. At the same time, they looked at Lin Xian and shook their heads. He wouldn't be able to block it either. Golden Crow Race? Courting death. I'll fulfill your wish. Lin Xian's eyes burst out with a cold radiance. Naturally, he could feel the powerful auras of these people. It was far stronger than the previous saints. But so what? He wasn't the same as before. After absorbing the Dragon Prince's power, his strength was much stronger than before. Furthermore, the things in the furnace were indeed very important to him. Therefore, no matter how dangerous it was, he wouldn't retreat. Boom! Lin Xian punched out. The Six Paths fist was incomparably vast and turned into 6 world phantoms. It danced and attacked the flaming palm. With a loud clang, a sky-shaking sound echoed. Endless flames danced and pierced through the void. The Six Paths fist was burned. That kid was definitely going to die. The surrounding people sneered, but soon their smiles froze. Although the Six Paths fist was burning, its power didn't weaken. Instead, the surrounding 6 world phantoms erupted with power and tore the golden crow into pieces and suppressed it. Heavens, what did I just see? He had actually managed to block this attack. This guy's strength is so strong. Could it be that he's also a powerful saint? They exclaimed. Lin Xian sneered. The Golden Crow race was only SOSO. What qualifications did they have to say that? If you only have this much strength, I advise you to scram. You're courting death. The Golden Fire Saint's face turned cold. The other party could block his palm? It was truly out of his expectations. However, the other party wasn't qualified to challenge him. Wings of the sun. A pair of wings flew out from the back and swept down with the power of the sun. This was also a powerful and peerless divine ability. The power of this palm strike was much more terrifying than the previous one. It was clear that he had only attacked casually before. Now, he was angry and was going to be serious. Not good. The sixth Tao cultivator exclaimed, "Young master, dodge." However, it was already too late. Two wings of the sun soared and arrived in front of Lin Xian, slashing down mercilessly. Lin Xian didn't dodge at all. The surrounding people laughed again. This time, it was time for him to die. That's for sure. Can't you see that he's already scared out of his wits and can't dodge at all? Unable to dodge? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes. He didn't need to hide. He stretched out his hands and grabbed at the wings of the sun in front of him. Is this guy crazy? Is he trying to grab this weapon with his bare hands? He would be burned to ashes. What a fool. The surrounding experts sneered. The Golden Fire Saint was even more disdainful. The other party was too stupid. An earth-shattering sound rang out from the front as endless flames engulfed everything. That pair of hands, however, were like boulders, grabbing the wings of the sun. How is this possible? How did he do it? What kind of physique was this? Was he still human? The surrounding people were stunned. The Golden Fire Saint's pupils contracted. The other three saints also frowned. This person's physique wasn't ordinary. Could it be that he cultivated the Six Paths physique? From the looks of it, this was a tough opponent. Lin Xian grabbed the wings of the sun with his bare hands and spoke coldly. The Golden Crow race was only SOSO. These words were the same as before, and it was already the second time he said it. The Golden Fire Saint's face was burning. He couldn't endure being slapped in the face twice. Kid, go and die. He rushed over and descended like a fire god. His fist was enough to destroy everything. Get lost. Lin Xian yelled out in anger. He grabbed the wings of the sun and slashed back. There was a boundless power on it as it clashed with the opponent's fist. There was an earth-shattering sound as the Golden Fire Saint was sent flying. His palms split open and white bones could be seen. He actually suffered a loss. Damn it, he couldn't imagine. He was a powerful saint and was extremely powerful. Even if the other saints worked together, they wouldn't be able to beat him. But now, a black-robed man actually forced him to retreat. Who was the opponent? Was it a nobody? Despicable thing. You have completely infuriated me. No matter who you are, I won't let you off. The Golden Fire Saint was constantly forming seals as his entire body was burning. A mysterious rune appeared on his physique. In the next moment, an even more terrifying flame power burst out. Everyone retreated in fear while Elder Tianhua exclaimed, "Golden Fire Physique?" This was an extremely terrifying flame physique. The Golden Fire Saint's name came from this. This kind of physique possessed a powerful flame energy, as well as an indestructible strength. It could be said to be abnormally terrifying. At this moment, it was fully unleashed and engulfed everything. Lin Xian was also surprised. Oh, an extremely powerful physique. It seemed like these people were indeed powerful and weren't comparable to regular saints. If he didn't absorb the Dragon Prince's power earlier, he wouldn't be able to withstand it with his own strength. But now, it was different. Lin Xian's dragon blood was boiling. He had only absorbed 1/3 of the Dragon Prince's flesh and blood at most, but it was enough to cause an earth-shattering change. His dragon blood was even more terrifying than before, and his physique was also valiant. With a raise of his hand, he could destroy heaven and earth. Now, it was time to show his true power. Boom. In the next moment, the Golden Fire Physique rushed over and attacked Lin Xian. Lin Xian punched out with the Sixth Tao Fist. The Sixth Tao Fist was extremely profound and had the power of reincarnation. Lin Xian used all his strength, and the Sixth Tao Fist turned into 6 illusory worlds that surrounded them. What was this? Such a terrifying reincarnation power. Who was this guy? Could it be that the sect master of the Sixth Tao Gate came personally? They were shocked. It was their first time seeing such a terrifying reincarnation power. The golden fire saint shuttled through the 6 worlds and attacked Lin Xian. Die. He punched at Lin Xian and realized that Lin Xian didn't dodge. He was overjoyed. After activating his bloodline, how could Lin Xian go against him? But when he exchanged blows with Lin Xian, his arm went numb from the impact. What was up with Lin Xian's physique? He couldn't break through it. Could it be that Lin Xian also had a super strong physique? Damn it. The 6 Dao body? He roared crazily. Boom. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a golden radiance, and the reincarnation mountain appeared. It emitted a boundless reincarnation power. The 6 illusory worlds were even more terrifying, and they kept on spinning. It seemed like they were going to suppress Lin Xian. Not good. The faces of the spectators changed. Was the reincarnation power really going to send the Green Fire Saint into the 6 Dao reincarnation? The experts from before felt their scalps go numb. Luckily, they didn't make a move. Otherwise, they would have ended up in a terrible state. The 3 saints frowned as well. Lin Xian's strength was beyond their expectations. There was such a terrifying existence in the 6 Dao Gate. Chapter 5185. It seemed like the Golden Fire Saint couldn't take him down. We don't want to waste time. The blazing flame dragon god walked out. As an expert of the 10,000 Dragon Court, he was in a bad mood. The Dragon Prince was killed, and they didn't catch a single enemy. So, he just wanted to end the battle quickly and get the treasure. Then, he would go back and continue to kill those enemies. He didn't care about fairness anymore. He stepped out and walked forward. Was the blazing flame dragon god going to attack? The others also exclaimed in surprise. The 9 Underworld Demon King and the others frowned but didn't say anything. They didn't want to waste time either. But the 6 Paths said that they were all-powerful saints. Did he want to fight 2 against 1? Didn't he find it embarrassing? You don't have the right to teach me a lesson. The blazing flame dragon god scoffed. A sharp light shot out from his eyes and pierced through the 6 Paths. The 6 Paths spat out blood and flew back. 2 bloody holes appeared on his body. In an instant, he was heavily injured. Too strong. He couldn't even block one look. Could young master block it? He started to worry for Lin Xian. Lin Xian used his reincarnation power and the 6 Paths fist to block the blazing flame dragon god's golden fire body. However, this time, he frowned because he discovered that there was another extremely terrifying aura in front of him that was charging toward him. It wasn't any weaker than the Golden Fire Saint. It also had a strong Dragon Dao aura. With a loud explosion, the 6 worlds were torn apart and he was forced back. He took 3 steps back, his face pale. The Golden Fire Saint heaved a sigh of relief. He looked to the side. You are here too. Let's work together to kill him. As an expert, he didn't want to work together, but he was really annoyed. Not being able to take down Lin Xian made him lose face. Another one? Lin Xian narrowed his eyes and looked at the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court. So what? I will take all of you today. Crackling sounds came from his body. The 10,000 Dragon Court still had the mood to come here to search for treasures? Your prince is dead. Aren't you going to go back and cry? Damn it. You are asking for death. The blazing flame dragon god roared. This was a pain in their hearts, and they couldn't allow him to mention it. He roared angrily and charged over. The monstrous flames transformed into a fire dragon, blotting out the sky and covering the earth as it charged forward. Humph! Lin Xian coldly snorted and executed the 6 Path fist. The 6 worlds sealed the fire dragons separately, suppressing them with reincarnation. Me too. The Golden Fire Saint attacked from the side. The 2 experts attacked together, besieging Lin Xian. For a moment, Lin Xian was in an extremely dangerous situation. This time, that brat was really dead. The surrounding people sneered again. Lin Xian indeed felt a great sense of crisis. He was being suppressed for a moment. Brat, what are you going to use to fight us? The red flame dragon monarch laughed viciously and attacked madly. Every punch could destroy the universe and starry sky. Lin Xian was beaten to the point where his qi and blood roiled, and he spat out blood. He was infuriated. He hadn't intended to reveal his identity. After all, his 9 yang divine body, the laws of yin and yang, and the demon emperor's ancient scriptures were too eye-catching. Once he used it, he would be discovered by others and recognized immediately. But now, he couldn't care less. He would use his strongest technique to obtain the pill furnace and then leave. Lin Xian roared angrily. Do you really think I'm afraid of you? With a cold shout, the power in his body erupted. Countless dragon silhouettes condensed behind him. A terrifying Tyrannosaurus Rex, a terrifying sword dragon, and a monstrous fire dragon. It was as if 10,000 dragons had awakened and stood above the 9 heavens. This power directly forced the red flame dragon monarch back. His chi and blood roiled. How is this possible? Are you from the dragon race? Who are you? The surrounding people were also stunned. Isn't he from the Sixth Path sect? How can he use the dragon shadow? For a moment, they were all stunned. Lin Xian took advantage of this moment to turn around and slap the furnace. How dare you? Countless people shouted angrily. At this moment, the 4 great sages all attacked. The furnace shook from the impact and the lid opened. Monstrous flames swept out and a pill hovered in the air. The pill was as big as a walnut. Endless light and the great Tao interweaved on it. It was exceptionally mysterious. After eating a pill refined by the arch, they would benefit greatly. Kill. They charged over crazily. However, terrifying flames were sweeping out from the furnace. In an instant, it enveloped the entire pill refinement hall. Lin Xian quickly retreated, grabbed the Sixth Path sect's loose cultivator, and threw him out. Run. Young master. The Sixth Path sect's loose cultivator exclaimed. However, he received an order in his mind and did not dare to resist. He quickly escaped. The others did not escape. Their eyes were burning as they stared at the pill in front of them. Although the 4 great sages were here, they still had a chance. Because they could see that the 4 great sages were not as united as one. As expected, the red flame dragon monarch grabbed the pill. It's mine. The golden fire great sage snorted coldly. How dare you? The heavenly feather saber lord also said from behind. Didn't we agree to split it evenly? He unsheathed his saber and slashed forward. Split it evenly? Don't you think it's ridiculous? The golden crow great sage snorted coldly. Scram? Or don't blame me for being impolite. The 9 underworld's demon monarchs' killing intent swept over. How are you going to be impolite? The 4 of them fought and attacked each other. For a moment, they forgot about Lin Xian. Lin Xian stood outside the battlefield. Golden light flickered in his eyes. He was also very jealous of the pill. However, he knew that if he wanted to take the pill, he would be hunted down by the 4 great sages. It was not wise for him to do so. Moreover, he felt that the pill was very dangerous. However, he could not explain it clearly. He should take a look at the other flames first. He activated his eye technique and discovered that there was indeed a wisp of flame in the cauldron that kept jumping. The flames in the sky were all condensed from that wisp of flame. What a terrifying aura! Although it was only a wisp of flame, it carried astonishing power. That should be the purple sun divine fire, right? Lin Xian's eyes lit up. He had to get that thing. In the next moment, he rushed over. Damn it, how dare you? The golden fire great sage roared. Scram. Lin Xian swung the 6 path fists and forced the other party to retreat. Stay. The heavenly feather saber lord also roared angrily. Wherever the saber went, everything would be destroyed. Lin Xian slashed back, and the saber and sword collided. The heavenly feather saber lord's arm went numb from the impact, and his pupils constricted. Who are you? Is the other party's sword chi also so cold? Then, the 9 underworld's demon king also charged over. Demonic chi filled the sky. 9 underworld's palm. He struck out with his palm, covering heaven and earth. The surrounding people almost fainted. Lin Xian's eyes lit up. Demon God Seal. The demonic chi seemed to be even more terrifying than the 9 underworld's demon kings. At this moment, the other party had transformed into a demon god. With a clang, the 9 underworld's demonic palm was blocked. The 9 underworld's demon king's blood boiled, and his eyes lit up. You're from the demon race. The surrounding people went crazy. Who is this person? Powerful reincarnation power, terrifying sword chi, terrifying demonic chi, and the aura of the dragon race. Could it be? They thought of a possibility. Chapter 5186. They had a guess about the black-robed man's identity, but they were not sure. It couldn't be that person. Impossible. He was being hunted down by the Thousand Dragon Court. How could he dare to appear here? They shook their heads. Lin Xian ignored them. After exchanging blows with the three great saints, he swung his sword. The flames that filled the sky swayed, and the elixir exploded with resplendent light. It was as if it had turned into a sun, shining in all directions. Everyone closed their eyes. It was too scary. What kind of pill was that? The pill shot up into the sky and danced in the air. The surrounding people attacked crazily. Lin Xian grabbed the pill furnace and put it away. How dare you? The red flame dragon god roared. He could feel the powerful flame energy in the pill furnace. If they could absorb it, it would definitely allow their fire laws to rise to the next level. The golden fire saint roared as well. Stay. The two of them charged forward again. Lin Xian snorted. This time, he did not hold back. He had gotten what he wanted. There was no need to hold back. He took out the Hellfire Dragon Sword and the Great Destruction Spear and sent the two flying. This time, their bodies shattered and they spat out mouthfuls of blood. Legendary sacred weapon. Damn it. You have two of them. The red flame dragon god roared. Lin Wudi. You are Lin Wudi. Now, he could finally confirm that it was him. The surrounding people were shocked. The 9 underworlds demon king frowned. You dare to appear here? The red flame dragon god roared. Kill. Kill him. Let's kill him together. That's right. Let's do it. The golden fire saint's eyes burned with passion. The pill was good, but Lin Xian's treasures were better. He had the emperor's ancient scripture. Even the golden fire saint coveted the 9 yang divine body. The 9 underworlds demon king's eyes shone. Hand over the emperor's ancient scripture, and I will spare your life. The emperor's ancient scripture was related to demons. He needed it badly. Lin Xian sneered. You think you can do it? Do you have the right? Scram. If you don't want to die, leave. Otherwise, don't blame me for killing. Lin Xian took a step forward, scaring the surrounding people into retreating. Even the 3 great saints were frightened. There was no other way. Although the person in front of him was young, the things he had done were extremely terrifying. Who would dare to be careless when an imperial prince had died at his hands? This guy wouldn't have brought an extreme weapon with him, right? Could he be plotting something? Are there 3 other extreme-grade weapons next to it? The surrounding people felt their scalps go numb. The Crimson Flame Dragon Monarch was also frightened. However, his eyes soon shone with a cold light. Impossible. We kept an eye on those people, and none of them left. This kid's extreme Dao weapon was in the Dragon Sea. He doesn't have the heaven-devouring jar on him. Let's see how he dies this time. Wang. As soon as he finished speaking, he screamed and retreated. Lin Xian used the demon shadow to attack his opponent. The other party's soul was severely injured. He spat out blood and was sent flying. Lin Xian attacked in a frenzy. Demon God's Seal, Demon God's Finger, 6-Path Fists. All of these attacks were launched in a frenzy. Powerful demonic shadows appeared as well. The body of the Scarlet Flame Dragon Monarch was shattered. He frantically retreated. Let's kill him together, he roared. The 9 Nether Demon Monarch turned around and grabbed the divine pill. Lin Wudi has a grudge against you, but it has nothing to do with me. I only want the divine pill. The Heavenly Feather Saber Lord of the Heavenly Rock Clan. He ignored him and charged over. The two of them chased after him. The divine pill shattered the void and flew out of the pill refinement hall. It even flew out of Sun God Palace. For a moment, endless light erupted. The aura of the pill fragrance swept in all directions. At this moment, the people on the sun were all alarmed. They looked up at the sky. What was the sky? It was a pill that flew out of Sun God Palace. A pill. Could it be refined by a great emperor? Look, there are 2 great saints following him. Let's hurry up and snatch the immortal pill. These people had all gone crazy, covering the sky and covering the earth as they chased after him. A great battle broke out. Dao Lord Heavenly Feather and the 9 Nether Demon Monarch were fighting. After all, The Nine-Nether Demon Monarch was a figure from 10,000 years ago. He was very powerful. He summoned the Nine-Nether Gate and forced the Heavenly Feather Saber Lord to retreat. The Heavenly Feather Saber Lord summoned the experts of the Heavenly Rock Clan to support him. The people of the Purple Mansion also came over. There were even more clan of the Ancients and Peerless sects fighting. However, the sun-like pill was too terrifying. It left the sun and flew into the depths of the universe. These people followed it all the way. A great battle broke out in the universe. At the same time, there were still some people left in the pill refinement hall. The blazing flame dragon monarch didn't leave. He stared at Lin Xian. The golden fire sage didn't leave either. After weighing the pros and cons, he decided to kill Lin Xian and obtain the great emperor's ancient scripture. The blazing flame dragon monarch gritted his teeth and said, "Taoist Golden Crow, help me stop him. I'm going to use a secret technique. This secret technique is very powerful, but it will take some time. Don't worry, after I suppress him, I'll give you a share of the 9 young divine body and the great emperor's ancient scripture." Really? That's great. The golden fire sage's eyes shone with a sharp light. The blazing flame sage looked at the people around him. "You guys go too. When the time comes, I'll give each of you a great emperor's divine ability." The eyes of the people around him also turned red. Although it wasn't a complete ancient scripture, as long as they could learn a great divine ability, it would be a shocking fortune for them. These people's eyes also turned red as they surrounded Lin Xian. Among them, there were 7 experts, including the Sky Fire Race's elder. In an instant, they surrounded Lin Xian from all directions. Lin Xian could be said to be very dangerous. The blazing flame sage retreated, his palms constantly forming seals. He didn't use any secret technique at all. Instead, he quickly contacted the 10,000 Dragon Court. As an expert of the 10,000 Dragon Court, he knew very well how difficult it was to kill Lin Xian. If he wanted to kill Lin Xian, he had to use an extreme weapon. His previous actions were just to buy him time. At this moment, he was trying his best to communicate with his family. Buried Emperor Star. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court were still searching around. Suddenly, they received news. An ancestor's eyes shone with a shocking light. They found Lin Wudi's whereabouts. As soon as he said that, the other experts also flew over. Where is he? Who found him? The blazing flame dragon monarch found him in the sun palace above the sun. What? That guy is too daring. Is he looking down on us? We're chasing him everywhere, but he still dares to go to Sun God Palace to search for treasures. The people of the 10,000 Dragon Court were so angry that they vomited blood. What should they do? These people discussed. An old ancestor said, "Men, what about the other extreme Dao weapons? What do you think? Where is the heaven-devouring jar?" The others reported back to the ancestor. There was no movement. The heaven-devouring jar was still in the Black Sea. What? Is that true? Lin Xian didn't call anyone and went alone. He was courting death. The eyes of those ancestors erupted with a cold light. Without the heaven-devouring jar, he only has the great dragon sword soul, but I think he doesn't have enough strength to fully recover. Even if he does, how many times can he recover? Kill him. Use all your strength. Fully recover the 10,000 dragon diagram. Attack Sun God Palace. Chapter 5187. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty quickly gave the order and countless resources gathered. They went all out to revive the 10,000 Dragon diagram. 10,000 dragons roared and swept across the 9 heavens. At this moment, they flew high into the sky, and the entire buried Emperor Star sensed it. They looked up at the sky and saw countless dragon phantoms galloping in the sky. They were shocked. Heavens, it was the 10,000 Dragon diagram. The apex weapon had fully awakened. At this moment, countless living beings prostrated on the ground. They couldn't believe it. Had the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty gone crazy? Who were they attacking this time? The people from the Dao sect and Divine Union were terrified. Was it targeting them? These people were facing a great enemy. On the other side, on the Demon Sovereign Mountain, Yin Ruyu and Monkey were also shocked. They had also awakened their Emperor weapons and activated their Apex weapons. The Phoenix Clan. Murong Qingqing's expression changed, and he quickly summoned the desolate tower. The other emperor clans, such as the Yi clan and the Gu clan, did the same. They used their apex weapons to defend. Those who didn't have their apex weapons activated their peerless array. No one knew what the other party was trying to do. In their opinion, it should be Lin Xian or someone related to Lin Xian. However, they were soon stunned because they discovered that the 10,000 dragon diagram had fully awakened. It was attacking the outer realm. What was going on? Were there experts in the outer realm? Everyone was stunned. They didn't understand. The 10,000 dragon diagram's full power attack flew towards the outer realm and towards the sun. At this moment, flames swept across the sun. Previously, many people had already left. Because of the appearance of an Emperor Immortal pill, countless experts had gone to search for it. They had already left the sun. However, there were still some people who stayed here and had their eyes on Sun God Palace. However, at this moment, they discovered that countless dragon phantoms were rushing over. The aura they carried made them despair. No, these powerful sages couldn't hold on at all. They all prostrated on the ground. Some great sages roared crazily. Apex weapons. Damn it, who brought apex weapons here? Were they crazy? They didn't know. They didn't even have the chance to escape under such power. They could only pray in their hearts. The people in Sun God Palace also felt it. Among them, the Golden Fire Sage's face changed. Damn it, why does he have an extreme doubt aura? The remaining people in the Elixir Hall went crazy. Even Lin Xian's pupils shrank. 10,000 dragons diagram. Damn it, it's you. The Golden Fire Saint turned around and looked at the Red Flame Dragon army. You lied to us. How dare you use the Myriad Dragons diagram? The Crimson Flame Dragon Monarch's light dimmed. He took out a scroll and crushed it. Endless void power enveloped him. Lin Wudi, go to hell. Boom. In the next instant, he disappeared. No. The Golden Fire Saint and the other experts had also gone crazy. Run quickly. The abominable dragons. They now understood why the Flaming Dragon Army had joined hands with them. He didn't want to share the treasures with them, but wanted them to pin down Lin Xian. That way, the other party would be able to report back to the family. Today's extreme weapons were the best proof. At this moment, they no longer cared about the martial monarch's ancient scriptures. All of them fled in a frenzy. His speed was extremely fast. Damn it! Lin Xian's face was cold. He knew that these people were dead meat. No one could escape. He knew the extreme weapons best, especially those that had fully awakened. To be honest, he didn't expect it. He originally thought that even if he revealed his identity, it would take a long time for the Thousand Dragon Empire to kill him. But he didn't expect the Crimson Flame Dragon Monarch to have such a treasure. To be able to lock his position in an instant. To be able to escape in an instant. It seemed that in order to kill him, every expert of the Thousand Dragon Empire had many trump cards. Lin Xian's Great Dragon Sword Soul couldn't block the fully awakened power of the Monarch weapon. In the next moment, he took a deep breath and entered the Sword World. The moment the Sword World opened, the Hellfire Dragon also flew over. What a terrifying aura outside. Is it an extreme weapon? Lin Xian nodded. Would this world be able to withstand it? The Hellfire Dragon's expression changed. This world is fine, but you can't. The world can be preserved, but your body will be destroyed. Let's see if there are any other treasures in the Sun God Palace. Lin Xian said that there was only one furnace, and there was a strand of God fire inside. The Hellfire Dragon said after seeing it, "Quick, hide in the furnace first. Then enter the Sword World." Will it work? Lin Xian shook his head. Unless it was an extreme weapon, it would be difficult to block it. There was no time to explain. Let's try it. I feel that this furnace is very magical. Would a great emperor use an ordinary pill furnace to refine pills? It was very likely that he refined it himself. All right, let's do it. Lin Xian took a deep breath and entered the furnace. He closed the furnace. Then he entered the Sword World. In the next moment, an earth-shattering sound was heard. Endless cracks appeared on the sun. Those who were still in the sun instantly turned into a bloody mist. No matter if you were a mid-stage or late-stage great sage, you couldn't block it. The people in the Sun God Palace originally wanted to escape from this attack. But when they saw this scene, they ran back frantically. Quickly enter the palace. This was the emperor's palace. Perhaps it could block it. The Golden Fire Sage and the elders of the Skyfire clan all ran back. They found a corner to hide. The Sun Palace was naturally attacked by the extreme weapon. Endless flames appeared on it and swept through the 9 heavens. This was the palace built by the emperor. It had mysterious power. At this moment, the sun was already broken into pieces, but the palace still existed. After all, this was the full recovery of the extreme weapon. This palace was only one of the emperor's palaces, so in the end, cracks appeared on it. Some places collapsed. The extreme weapon's power rushed in. The Skyfire Elder and the others screamed and turned into a bloody mist. They no longer existed. No. The Golden Crow Sage roared crazily. His eyes were filled with despair. He wanted to escape, but in the next moment, he was also swallowed by the extreme weapon's aura. His body was broken into pieces. He died unwillingly. The remaining people all died. Even the Sun Palace couldn't protect them. The Sun Palace kept shattering. Many places were already broken into pieces. The extreme weapon's power swept in all directions. Soon, it rushed into the pill refining hall. With a clang, the dragon's phantom hit the cauldron. The cauldron was sent flying. The flames on it dimmed, but it didn't shatter. Just as the Hellfire Dragon said, this cauldron was called the Purple Sun Divine Cauldron. It was a cauldron personally made by the Purple Sun Great Emperor for alchemy. Although it wasn't an extreme weapon, it was far superior to a sacred weapon. At this moment, under the extreme weapon's power, it actually blocked it. But this time, it wasn't an extreme weapon's power. More extreme weapons power rushed in. The array and divine fire in the Sun God Palace resisted with all their might. It consumed some extreme weapons power. But in the end, the entire palace was broken into pieces. Chapter 5188. Boom, boom. The sun kept shattering, and the Sun God Palace kept rumbling. It was torn apart. The Purple Sun Divine Furnace inside was violently impacted. Under the endless extreme power, the Divine Furnace started to cave in, and many parts of it were deformed. However, no one knew what material this Divine Furnace was made of. Even though many parts of it were caved in, there were no cracks. Lin Xian's blood was also boiling. Although he entered the Sword World and could avoid most of the power, this Sword World was very powerful. But this Sword World was very mysterious. The Sword World existed in his body. Therefore, he was different from the Hellfire Dragon and the others. He couldn't completely avoid it. This was also why the Hellfire Dragon let him enter the Purple Sun Divine Furnace. At this moment, Lin Xian was vomiting blood, and many cracks appeared on the 9 Yang Divine body. The Hellfire Dragon and the 4 Spirit Beasts were all nervous. "Kid, are you okay?" The Hellfire Dragon said. "Sit on the Spring of Life." Lin Xian quickly sat on the Spring of Life, and a powerful life force enveloped him. Those cracks were quickly repaired. Lin Xian roared crazily. This pain was even more terrifying than his heavenly tribulation. However, the Hellfire Dragon laughed. "Kid, you're really lucky." The 4 Spirit Beasts said. "Is he okay?" The Hellfire Dragon said. "Should be fine." Think about it. No matter how strong a person is, when faced with an extreme weapon, his soul would be instantly destroyed. Have you ever seen a body like this that kept breaking and recovering? This meant that the furnace outside blocked most of the extreme aura. Hearing this, the 4 Spirit Beasts laughed. They could finally be at ease. Although Lin Xian's miserable cries came from the Sword World, his life was not in danger. The extreme aura between heaven and earth slowly disappeared, and many dents appeared on the Purple Sun Divine Furnace. However, it didn't break in the ruins. In the universe, countless people were shocked. They looked into the distance, where flames soared into the sky, and the entire universe was illuminated. Heavens! What happened? Look, millions of dragon shadows, each of them hundreds of thousands of meters long, swept across heaven and earth. It blotted out the sky and shrouded the entire sun. The heavenly feather blade monarch's pupils shrank, and he exclaimed, "Damn it! this is an extreme weapon, the 10,000 Dragons diagram. What? The others also exclaimed. Did the 10,000 Dragons court use an extreme weapon to attack? Could the solar energy be blocked? The 9 Netherworld Demon Monarch and the others said. It was all thanks to that immortal pill that they managed to escape. At that moment, all of them were rapidly chasing after him. No one had been able to get their hands on the great Emperor Immortal Pill, but now they were rejoicing. If they had not chased after him and stayed on the sun, he would have died long ago. Damn it! Some of the clans and sects roared madly. Back then, they had sent a portion of their people to chase after him, while the rest remained on the sun. Didn't that mean they were all dead? However, no one dared to return. While these people were sighing, the people of the buried Emperor's star were stunned. What exactly was the 10,000 Dragons Imperial Court attacking? They still don't know. The ancestors of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty looked into the sky. Was this enough? At this moment, a figure appeared before them. It was the Crimson Flame Dragon Monarch. What do you think? The Red Flame Dragon Monarch asked. He had fully recovered. The specific situation was unknown. Where was Linwoody? The Red Flame Dragon Monarch said that it was in the Sun Palace, which was the Emperor's palace. When the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's old ancestor heard this, his face turned cold. The second attack was launched. Old ancestor, one time should be enough. The surrounding elders said, that's right. Even for us, the Emperor race, the consumption is too great. We can't afford it. The elders gritted their teeth. However, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's old ancestors said that the Emperor's palace could block a portion of it. Moreover, that kid had the great dragon sword soul. Who knew whether or not he could survive? If he fully recovered, no matter how many trump cards he had, he would definitely die. Don't worry, after this recovery, we won't use the 10,000 Dragon diagram for a long time. The few old ancestors also knew that they had used up a lot of their family's resources over the years. They had to recuperate and replenish their resources. This was the last time they would go all out. All right, we got it, those elders. They took out endless resources to activate the second full recovery of the 10,000 Dragon diagram. The light of the 10,000 dragons in the sky slowly disappeared. But at this moment, it suddenly exploded and swept the 9 heavens. The clans and sects on the buried Emperor's star went crazy. Heavens, the 10,000 Dragon diagram fully recovered for the second time. This attack was aimed at the outer region. Could it be that the other party was attacking the Sun God Palace? One had to know that something big had happened in the outer region. Only the Purple Sunland's Sun God Palace could do it. Perhaps the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty wanted to obtain the things inside the Sun God Palace. However, there were also people who thought that it was a joke. Even if they wanted to obtain it, they shouldn't have fully recovered. Under this attack, all treasures would vanish into thin air. They couldn't understand. In the outer region, the 9 Nether Demon Monarch, Heavenly Feather Saber Monarch, and other experts were still fighting for the Emperor's immortal pill. Suddenly, endless dragon roars sounded. 10,000 dragon shadows swept through the world once again. Everyone's blood boiled. Some people were so frightened that they knelt on the ground. Heavens, the extreme Dao weapon had recovered again. Was it attacking them? No, it was attacking the sun. What was on the sun that made the nest of 10,000 dragons so crazy? Even if you want the Sun God Palace, you don't have to do this, right? The broken sun was attacked a second time and shattered into pieces, turning into countless specks of dust. The Sun God Palace was also completely shattered and could no longer hold on. In the ruins of the Sun God Palace, there were even more dents on the Purple Sun Divine Furnace. This time, it had completely changed shape, as if it had turned into a pile of scrap metal. In the sword world, Lin Xian was no longer roaring crazily. The cracks on his body were also slowly disappearing. The Hellfire Dragon and the others all heaved a sigh of relief. They knew that the power of the extreme Dao weapon outside had disappeared. But suddenly, Lin Xian's pupils constricted. He spat out a mouthful of blood. With a cracking sound, his body was torn into pieces, and an endless amount of golden dragon blood splattered between heaven and earth. What was going on? The Sun Spirit Beast roared crazily. Even the Hellfire Dragon was stunned. That shouldn't be. With the spring of life, how could his body shatter? Could it be? Damn it, it was the second extreme Dao attack. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was really vicious. It was going to be difficult this time. He waved his dragon claw and sealed the sky full of golden saint blood. Then, he waved his hand. Those life gods all exploded and quickly provided power. They protected Lin Xin's heart. Kid, it's up to you now. Even if that pill furnace could block the attack of the extreme Dao weapon once, it probably wouldn't be able to block the second attack. It was up to the heavens. After doing that, the Hellfire Dragon retreated to the side. The four spirit beasts were extremely nervous. Was he going to die? Because they realized that Lin Xin's body didn't recover at all. It didn't look better at all. Chapter 5189. In the universe, the sun had already disappeared. The light between heaven and earth dimmed. The phantoms of the 10,000 dragons also slowly weakened, but there was still some power left. That place would probably become a land of death. It would no longer exist. It was over. 9 underworlds, Demon Monarch, Sky Feather Blade Monarch, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. The others also stood up. They looked at the Emperor Immortal Pill. They had to act quickly. If they were targeted by the 10,000 dragons court again, they would all die. They prepared to use their ultimate techniques. However, the pill shone brightly and suddenly spun and charged back. Not good, quickly stop it. 9 underworlds Demon Monarch roared and unleashed the 9 underworlds door to seal heaven and earth. Sky Universe Blade Monarch unleashed a galaxy of blade light that shattered heaven and earth. However, it was useless. The pill tore through everything and flew into the distance. Chase. These people chased crazily and soon stopped. Damn it, they didn't dare to go anymore. That was because the medicinal pill was flying back toward the sun. The sun was filled with the aura of extreme Dao. No matter how strong they were, they didn't dare to go there. That damned pill. Was it crazy? Why did it have to go back? He came from Sun God Palace. Sun God Palace was destroyed. Was he going to be buried with it? Countless crazy roars could be heard. The expressions of the 2 saints were also ugly. Let's go. 9 underworlds Demon Monarch was very decisive. The current situation was too strange. He couldn't interfere anymore. Sky Feather Dao Lord struggled and soon turned to leave. The others also fled. It was better to return to their families and figure out what was going on. Buried Emperor Star. At this moment, it was also a little dim. The sun had shattered, and the surroundings fell into darkness. The living beings on the buried Emperor Star were terrified. They felt a monstrous aura in the outer space that seemed to want to destroy the world. However, the remote antiquity families and great sects were frowning. What was the 10,000 Dragons Court doing? At this moment, a group of people who were alive in the outer space returned to their families. Patriarch, what happened? Why did the 10,000 Dragons Court attack the sun? That's right. Are they crazy? When the 2 sides met and told each other what they knew, they were all stunned. It seemed that the 10,000 Dragons Court had indeed attacked the sun. According to the people who came back, the sun had long been torn apart. It was estimated that the Solar God Palace inside the sun no longer existed. As for the Tianpong race, the Violet Palace people were also clenching their teeth. Damn it. Had the immortal pill also disappeared? You're saying that a pill flew out and then flew back. At this moment, everyone knew why the 9 Nether Demon Monarch and the others were still alive. It wasn't that these people could block the extreme-grade weapon, but that they were lucky enough to dodge it. The clan leader of the Tianpong race sighed. You are really lucky. As for the matter of the great Emperor Pill, don't even think about it. By the time he returned, he would have already been reduced to ashes. Besides, even if it was in perfect condition, we wouldn't be able to enter it with our strength. Only those monarch clans had such qualifications. It would be useless to go to the sun now, unless he had a monarch weapon. Hearing the news from these people, the entire buried Emperor Star was shocked. After the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's people received the news, they laughed loudly. It was to the extent where they personally sent people over to take a look, and they discovered that it really was the case. That place was split into pieces, and everything no longer existed. 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's old ancestor scoffed coldly and told the world that Lin Wuti was dead. He told the others to wait. You dare to go against the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty and kill our prince? This is your fate. We won't let a single one of you off. When this news spread, the people of the buried Emperor's star were stunned. Lin Wuti was dead? When? Wait, could it be that Lin Wuti was in Sun God Palace? They thought of a possibility and quickly confirmed that Lin Wuti had gone to Sun God Palace. Now, they finally understood why the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had attacked Sun God Palace without caring about anything else. So it was to kill Lin Wuti. Damn it, the people of our family were actually buried with Lin Wuti. The people of the Golden Crow race gnashed their teeth. The other ancient families and peerless great sects were also roaring. This was because half of the people they had sent didn't come back. These were all top-notch experts. How could they not be heartbroken that they had fallen just like that? Some people were puzzled. It couldn't be. Lin Wuti was so strong. How could he have fallen? He had a lot of trump cards in his hands. What? The Divine Union shook their heads. Impossible. Boss Lin definitely wouldn't have fallen. Yi Wudao and the others also frowned. That kid should be fine, right? Monkey and Yin Ruyu also frowned. However, the dragon race of the Black Sea let out a roar. Damn it! The Crimson Dragon's eyes were red. He had Lin Xian's Soul Jade token in his hand. However, cracks had already appeared on the Soul Jade token. What did this mean? Was Lin Xian dead? Damn it! The leader of the dragon race of the Black Sea said. It shouldn't be. Lin Gongzi had the Great Dragon Sword Soul in his hand. Could it be that he couldn't block it? The toad said that what was the use of having the Great Dragon Sword Soul? He didn't have any resources. He couldn't revive. Besides, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had already revived twice. Who could block it? Damn it! I shouldn't have taken the heaven-swallowing jar. The Crimson Dragon roared crazily. If the heaven-swallowing jar had been in Lin Xian's hands, Lin Xian definitely wouldn't have died. The people of the dragon race of the Black Sea also sighed. They had implicated Lin Gongzi. The Phoenix race. Morong Qingqing waited anxiously. A Soul Jade token in her hand had also cracked. She panicked. Was Brother Xian really in danger? She hurriedly found the Crimson Dragon and found that there were also cracks on the Crimson Dragon's side. This time, Morong Qingqing's eyes instantly turned red. She almost fainted. Allure. Many experts of the Phoenix race hurriedly supported him and fed him pills. Morong Qingqing roared crazily. Let's go to the outer realm together. They want to investigate the Sun Palace. The Crimson Dragon escorted the people of the dragon race to the Demon Emperor Mountain. After all, the heaven-swallowing jar couldn't protect them forever. It was better to go to the Demon Emperor Mountain first. The Demon Emperor Mountain had the successor of the Azure Emperor, so it was very safe. Both sides were at peace for a while. After hearing this, Yin Ruyu and Monkey's expressions changed. How is this possible? Damn it, I don't believe it. How could Brother Lin die? Yin Ruyu said. I want to see it with my own eyes. He left his green lotus at the Demon Emperor Mountain. Then, a few people quickly soared into the sky and charged toward the outer realm. These people had several extreme weapons in their hands. They weren't afraid of extreme power at all. However, when they arrived, they were stunned, because they found that the sun had long disappeared. Instead, it had turned into a black hole. It was bobbing up and down. Damn it, we can't go in at all. Monkey's iron rod swept forward. Morong Qingqing's desolate tower also tore through everything. However, the black hole seemed to be able to swallow everything. Yin Ruyu frowned. The sun itself was a world. It contained endless power and shone brilliantly. Now that the sun was broken, its own power was enough to shatter everything, turning this place into nothingness. Chapter 5190. Brother Xian. How did this happen? Morong Qingqing shed tears. She was about to faint. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. Damn it, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have taken the heaven-swallowing jar. Don't be anxious. Yin Ruyu held the two Soul Jade pendants, her eyes shining. Although there were cracks on them, they weren't completely broken. This meant that Lin Xian hadn't completely died. He might still have a chance. That's right, Monkey said. Brother Lin had so many trump cards. This time, he might have been heavily injured, but as long as he didn't die, there would be a chance. Murong Qingcheng wiped her tears. Yes, Brother Xian wasn't dead. There was only a crack on it. We have a chance. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. What should we do? Let's take revenge on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. Damn it. Let them know how strong we are. After a short discussion, they decided to kill their way back. Anyway, they couldn't go to the sun now. Lin Xian was in danger, but there was still hope. The only thing they could do now was to attack the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. The people on the buried Emperor's Star were in an uproar. Lin Xian had died? They couldn't believe it. However, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty's confidence shocked everyone. Could it be that Lin Xian had really died? First, it was Long Huangzi, then it was Lin Wudi. 2 emperors had already died. Who was next? The battle between emperors was too cruel. Was he really dead? Yi Wudao couldn't believe it. He contacted the Crimson Dragon, Murong Qingqing, and the others, but he couldn't reach them. The people of the Divine Union were crying. Bai Susu and the others were filled with despair. How could this be? The ancestors of the Dao sect were going crazy. They couldn't bear such an outcome. Dead. The Kuren Peng race had complicated expressions. The Z Mansion, Gu family, and the others heaved a sigh of relief. Now that this peerless enemy was dead, they could finally be at ease. Qilin clapped his hands and laughed when he heard the news. Haha, the heavens are helping me. I don't need to do anything. 2 emperors had died. He was too happy. He had fallen. The Nailing clan, the Fire Dragon clan, the Dugu clan, and the other clans that supported Lin Xian fell into despair at this moment. When the Dragon Prince died, they were attacked and hunted down by the 10,000 Dragon Court. Although they had suffered losses, they still had hope in their hearts, and that was Lin Xian. Once Lin Xian fully matured, he would be able to turn the tables around. But now, even Lin Xian had fallen. Then they would have no more hope. In the future, they would most likely face the endless pursuit of the 10,000 Dragon Court. The Dragon Sea clan, the Basket clan, and the Golden Crow clan were incomparably happy. They jumped out and said that Lin Wudi deserved to die. That was right. He dared to kill the Dragon Prince. He deserved to die. These families were very happy. However, at this time, a precious pagoda descended from the sky, causing the blue race to sway and many palaces to shatter. Some of the blue race's people had died. Damn it, who was it? The people of the blue race roared madly. On the other side, the Dragon Sea clan was also under attack. An iron staff flew across the sky, erupting with power like a god attacking. Many of the Dragon Sea clan's people turned into blood mist, while the Golden Crow clan's people were swallowed by the black sky devouring jar. A group of powerhouses had also fallen. Everyone's scalps went numb. These people were all laughing at Lin Xian. Could it be that Lin Xian had returned? The people of the 3 families were also terrified, but they soon realized that it wasn't so. The ones who attacked were Murong Qingqing, the Crimson Dragon, and the others. These people attacked. Were they taking revenge for Lin Xian? Could it be that he had really fallen? They had some doubts before, but now, they were finally sure. Lin Xian had really fallen. Otherwise, why were these friends so crazy? The people of the 3 families roared madly, but Murong Qingcheng and the others ignored them. They directly charged towards the 10,000 Dragon Court. A few extreme weapons shone brightly. Although they hadn't fully recovered, the extreme power they unleashed still shattered the endless sky. At this moment, the people on the buried Emperor's Star were terrified once again. This wasn't an extreme weapon. Was a battle about to break out? It was likely that this battle would shatter the mountains and rivers and plunge the people into misery and suffering. The expressions of the people of the 10,000 Dragon Court changed drastically. They directly took out the 10,000 Dragon diagram to block. They didn't take the initiative to attack. After all, they didn't have many resources left. The old ancestor of the 10,000 Dragon Court shouted angrily. Were they courting death? Being attacked by a few juniors made them lose face. Murong Qingcheng scoffed coldly. Since you dared to attack Brother Xian, I will kill you all today. The desolate tower released its power. It was as heavy as a mountain and suppressed the 10,000 dragon court. The surrounding space kept shattering. The people inside spat out blood crazily. The iron staff swept across the sky, sweeping through everything. The sky-devouring jar swallowed the sky and earth. The three extreme weapons exploded at the same time. Their power was incomparably terrifying. The 10,000 dragons diagram was completely suppressed. That damn Junior. The people of the 10,000 dragon court were furious. They really couldn't help but want to fully recover, but they still held it in. The old ancestor of the 10,000 dragon court said that it was time to use their allies to invite the Z mansion and the Gu family. Those elders sent out a signal. Everyone was watching. How was the 10,000 dragon court going to deal with it? If they really fully recovered, no one would be able to withstand it. But from the looks of it, the 10,000 dragon court was at a disadvantage. An emperor race was actually suppressed by a few youngsters. How shocking. This was probably a scene that hadn't been seen in tens of thousands of years. However, at this moment, heaven and earth shattered. An ancient mirror swept in all directions, releasing the might of the extreme Tao. On the other side, a huge cauldron floated up and down. Two dragons surrounded it, releasing a terrifying aura. It was incomparably mysterious. Heavens, another two extreme-grade weapons? Everyone went crazy. Could it be that they were also here to attack the 10,000 Dragon Court? If that was the case, the 10,000 Dragon Court would definitely die. However, they realized that it wasn't the case. After these two extreme weapons appeared, they blocked the desolate tower and the heaven-devouring jar. They were actually helping the 10,000 Dragon Court. The 10,000 Dragon Court laughed out loud. They held the 10,000 dragon diagram in their hands and soared into the air. 6 extreme weapons faced each other in the sky. Everyone felt this aura and prostrated themselves on the ground once again. The people of the 3 great orthodoxies also looked up. This power had already surpassed everything. The expressions of the Yi family members changed. Yi Wudao's pupils constricted. It was the Gu family. He felt the power of the Void Realm. Had the Gu family joined forces with the 10,000 Dragon Court? On the other side, the Kurenpong clan, Qilin clan, and Phoenix clan also exclaimed, Void Mirror, Dragon Pattern Cauldron. The Gu family and the Purple Mansion had joined forces. The Qilin's son snorted coldly. The 10,000 Dragon Court was really something. He originally thought that it was about to be destroyed, but they actually secretly joined forces. Damn it, it seems that I have to find a few allies. His eyes flickered. Damn it, Gu family, what are you trying to do? The Crimson Dragon roared. Murong Qingqing also said, Are you going to attack us? The Gu family members sneered. Lin Wudi was already dead. Why would they make a big fuss over a dead person? The Purple Mansion powerhouses also laughed. That's right. Could it be that you want to start a war? If that was the case, the consequences would be unimaginable. Chapter 5191. Between heaven and earth, the 6 apex weapons faced each other, and the atmosphere was extremely tense. When Murong Qingcheng and the others heard the arrogant words of the Gu family and Z Mansion, their eyes were filled with killing intent. Countless people were watching this battle, and they were terrified to the extreme. As for the remote antiquity families and great sects, they were also facing a great enemy. The expressions of the monarch families changed. They would not allow this battle to happen, because once they fought, everything would be destroyed. Even if they could stay out of it, their families would not be able to survive if the buried Emperor Star was destroyed. Therefore, the experts of the other monarch families came. Everyone, stop. The Yi family's patriarch flew out and said, Everyone, stop. Is the Yi family going to interfere? The monkey roared. The Yi family's patriarch sighed. Yi Wudao also came. He looked at Murong Qingcheng and transmitted his voice. I know you're angry, but we can't start a war with them now. The 3 families have a strong foundation. Once they fully recover, your lives will be in danger. Qingcheng, stop. The Phoenix clan's patriarch also walked over. The Kuanping clan's experts had come. Everything could be discussed. The other top remote antiquity families, such as the Canopy clan and the three great orthodoxies, also appeared. For a moment, everyone was trying to dissuade them. Murong Qingqing and the others had solemn expressions. To be honest, they also knew that with their current strength, it would be difficult for them to fully recover their apex weapons. If they really fought, they would not have a good ending. However, they were extremely angry. It seemed that this matter would have to be discussed at length. Murong Qingqing said coldly, "The 10,000 Dragon Court would not let this matter end. One day, you will pay the price." Hearing Murong Qingqing's words, the others also heaved a sigh of relief. The Crimson Dragon snorted coldly. "Not only the 10,000 Dragon Court, but also your allies. Just you wait, we won't let any of you go." In the end, they did not attack and returned with the 3 monarch weapons. The other families also heaved a sigh of relief. The people of the buried Emperor's Star were also relieved. However, they knew that Lin Xian might have really died. Otherwise, why would Murong Qingqing and the others attack the 10,000 Dragon Court crazily? The fall of a martial monarch's son had left everyone in shock. Many experts shook their heads and sighed. What a pity. This was someone who had the potential to become a great emperor. Murong Qingqing and the others returned. They had not given up on revenge. Instead, they had gathered their strength. They were too weak, so they had to gather enough resources. When the time came, it would be a fully awakened monarch weapon. It was a peerless strike. Was it the spring of life? He looked down at the mouth of the spring. The Hellfire Dragon, on the other hand, told him everything that happened before. Hearing this, Lin Xian was shocked. He remembered that there was a pill in the pill furnace. Didn't the other party break through the void and leave? He actually came back. Furthermore, he had obtained it. It was an unexpected joy. After surviving a disaster, there would be good fortune. Lin Xian sat cross-legged and activated the Emperor's ancient scripture. He began to absorb the power of the pill. The pill entered his body, and a part of the power had already dissolved. It made it come back to life. But there was still a part of the power left. Lin Xian was slowly absorbing it. At the same time, the powerful aura of the Spring of Life and the spiritual herbs in the Four Spirit Valley. It made Lin Xian's power return quickly. In a month, he reached the peak. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a sharp light. 10,000 Dragons Dynasty, I won't let you go. He wanted revenge. But before that, he still had to break the curse on his body. Lin Xian took out the purple flame from the cauldron. A wisp of purple flame was terrifying. It was even more terrifying than all the power of his 9 young divine body. Lin Xian knew that this should be the purple sun divine fire. This flame could break the dragon prince's curse. In the next moment, he walked into the purple sun divine fire. His body split open again. The pain almost made him faint, but he gritted his teeth and persevered. In the blink of an eye, another year had passed. In this year, Lin Xian had been tempered by the purple sun divine fire. The dragon prince's curse had disappeared without a trace. He could no longer be detected by the 10,000 Dragons Dynasty. But he didn't come out. Lin Xian decided to absorb this purple flame. He wanted to improve his 9 young divine body. Chapter 5192. After a year of tempering, Lin Xian was already able to withstand the power of the purple sun god fire. Next, it was time to fully absorb it. The 9 suns on the 9 young divine body kept flashing. Lin Xian's current physique. It was equivalent to a late-stage great saint. However, there was still a gap between him and a peak saint lord like the golden fire saint. But if he absorbed this purple sun god fire, then even if he met someone like the 9 nether demon lord, he would have nothing to fear. His physique would become much stronger than these people. 2 years later, Lin Xian completely absorbed the flame. The 6 suns on his body were incomparably resplendent, as if they were real suns. The other 3 were phantoms. In other words, Lin Xian was not far from the final stage of God body. With the strength of his physique and the increase in power of the 9 young divine body, Lin Xian's combat strength had also become stronger than before. He felt that it was time to leave. His body flashed and Lin Xian left the sword world. After coming out, he discovered that his surroundings were pitch black. It was a universe black hole. Around him were broken walls, and in front of him was a pill furnace that had been beaten out of shape. Lin Xian was shocked. The materials of this pill furnace were too extraordinary. After being attacked by an extreme Dao weapon, it actually didn't break apart and only changed shape. He waved his hand and kept the pill furnace. He wanted to see if there was a chance to restore it in the future. Then, he left. After leaving the black hole, Lin Xian came out and discovered that there was no one around in the vast universe. Actually, this was very normal. He originally thought that the 10,000 Dragon Court would be guarding here, but now, it seemed that they didn't do so. Actually, the 10,000 Dragon Court had already determined that Lin Xian had died. Not only them, but the entire buried Emperor's Star probably thought so too. I wonder how Qingqing, Ruzalong, and the others are doing? Lin Xian was worried. After all, if the news of his death spread out, those people would definitely take revenge. Perhaps they had already started fighting with the 10,000 Dragon Court. He was extremely worried, so he increased his speed. There was a pair of demonic wings on his back that flapped. He turned into a stream of light and disappeared. In the starry sky of the universe, several figures stopped. One of them looked into the distance in shock. "Grandpa, I think I saw someone fly out from the sun." It was a young man with light flickering on his body. The old man in front looked into the distance, his eyes radiating a terrifying light. He looked carefully for a while and said, "You must have seen wrongly. How could anyone come out alive from the sun?" That place had become a forbidden land of death, and no one could walk out of it. A middle-aged woman at the side said, "That's right. Maybe someone was passing by. Besides, you're just a kid. What can you see? Come on, let's go back. This time, this sun has been shattered, so we have to find a new one." Now that he had investigated it thoroughly, the next step was to transport the sun over. However, with just our strength, it is simply impossible to accomplish. It is better to ask those emperor clans to take action. After Lin Xian returned to the buried Emperor's Star, he first inquired about the situation. It turned out that back then, the Murong Qingqing had fought against the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. However, they hadn't stopped. Presumably, they had been accumulating strength. After the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty attacked back then, they had calmed down. On the buried Emperor's Star, everyone thought that Lin Xian had died. After Lin Xian heard that, he snorted coldly. When the time came, he would give these people a surprise. However, he didn't show himself immediately. Instead, he prepared to go to another world. This was because he had heard news about the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord. Lin Xian wouldn't forget this person. It was this person who had spread the news about him, which was why they had sent an extreme weapon to kill him. Lin Xian wanted to get rid of this person first. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord wasn't on the buried Emperor's Star. Instead, he had gone to another world to conquer. After all, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty had used extreme weapons many times and didn't have many resources left. He had to subdue other worlds to increase the power he had. As a Saint Lord expert, the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord naturally went out to sweep through everything. After receiving the news, Lin Xian moved once again. He turned into a bolt of black lightning and left. In the vast universe, there were countless stars. Among them, there was a world that was filled with flames. It wasn't a sun but another world. It was called the Flame Star. The power of the flames in this world was extremely terrifying. At this moment, many dragon race experts had arrived. They swept through everything. The saints on the Flame Star couldn't resist at all. Soon, they submitted. These dragon race experts started to collect spirit veins and mines for the people on the Flame Star to dig out flame god crystals. This was a powerful energy. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord sat in a large hall in the Star World. Looking at the news of a fish in his hand, he nodded his head in satisfaction. After collecting the energy of this world, he would collect the energy of the other two worlds. Then, he would be able to return and report. It could be considered as completing a mission. This time, he had to have a good rest. What he didn't know was that outside the Flame Star, a figure had already descended. It was a figure that looked like a demonic god. Lin Xian looked at the star world below and narrowed his eyes. Golden light flashed in his eyes. They were like the eyes of a god. He sensed the aura of the Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord. The other party was on this star world. At the same time, he also sensed the aura of many dragon race experts. Other than the 10,000 Dragons Court, there were also other dragon race experts. It seemed that after this battle, all the dragon race experts except the dragon race of the Black Sea had submitted to the 10,000 Dragons Court. Very good. From here on out, let the 10,000 Dragons Court feel the pain. Lin Xian landed on the ground. The flame aura below was very terrifying. However, under Lin Xian's feet, the flames quickly rose and fell as if they were worshipping their king. Lin Xian had the 9 yang divine body. In addition, he had absorbed the divine fire. His flame power was extremely powerful. Therefore, he was walking on flat ground here. In the distance, in the continuous mountain range, endless flaming mountains were erupting. There were many figures moving there. These people were collecting flame god crystals. Among them, there was a woman with a pale face. She was wearing chains and was also collecting flame god crystals. The experts of the dragon clan beside him acted as guards. Move faster. The dragon race guards snorted coldly. They waved the weapons in their hands and hit the chain bearers in front of them. Those people, most of them were warriors on the flame star. Now that they had submitted, they naturally became such coolies. You dare to attack me? The pale-faced woman in front of them was hit by a palm strike. She immediately turned around and shouted coldly. The dragon race guards were stunned for a moment before they laughed out loud. Oh, I'm so scared. Princess of the Fire Dragon race, why? Are you here to kill me? Chapter 5193. Do it. Those guards snorted coldly. Another person said, Enough. Do you still think you're high and mighty? You're now a prisoner. As the princess of the Fire Dragon race, you actually dared to submit to that Lin Wuti. It's already good enough that we didn't kill you. Hurry up and serve the 1,000 Dragons dynasty. As he said that, he slapped Fire Dragon Princess's face again. Fire Dragon Princess was knocked to the ground and blood flowed from the corner of her mouth. She was unwilling to accept this and wanted to fight back. However, the sealing chains on her body sealed her power. Damn it! If Lin Xian was still alive, would you dare to be so arrogant? Fire Dragon Princess roared. Those dragon race guards snorted coldly. Alive? Stop dreaming. He's already dead. He died a few years ago. No one can save you. You'll be slaves forever. These people laughed out loud. You'd better be obedient. Otherwise, you'll suffer a fate worse than death. Killing intent appeared in the eyes of the dragon race guards. The surrounding warriors on the flame planet felt their scalps go numb. They didn't dare to resist. However, Fire Dragon Princess shed tears of unwillingness. Lin Xian, are you really dead? She couldn't accept it. Hurry up and do your work. The dragon race guard slapped again and Fire Dragon Princess was sent flying. Try touching her again. At this moment, a cold voice sounded. As soon as these words came out, the surrounding people were stunned. The dragon race guards were even more furious. Who dares to challenge me at this time? Do you want to die? They turned their heads one after another. In the next moment, they saw a man standing behind them. That man had a handsome face, but his expression was incomparably cold. The endless flames in the surroundings submitted to him. Heavens, is this the fire god? The warriors on the flame planet were shocked when they saw this scene. However, Fire Dragon Princess exclaimed, It's you. At this moment, she felt like she was dreaming. Who are you? One of the dragon race guards roared. Are you here to save Ling Er? Go to hell. He struck out with his palm. However, this slap landed on Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian was unharmed. The other party was forced back and half of his arm was broken. Then, his entire body was taken care of. The power of the vibration turned him into a bloody mist. What a powerful physique. The surrounding people were shocked when they saw this. The faces of those from the dragon clan changed, and they attacked together. Following the roar of one of the guard leaders, more than a dozen dragon clan experts rushed over. Ants, unable to withstand a single blow. Lin Xian stretched out a finger, and a terrifying flame flickered on it. He gently pointed forward. The sky collapsed and the earth cracked. The entire void was completely shattered. More than a dozen dragon race experts were sent flying while coughing out blood. Their bodies were shattered into pieces. It let out a miserable cry. However, they didn't die because Lin Xian didn't want to kill them. With a single finger, Yi Fuyan suppressed over a dozen experts from the Dragon Clan, causing the surrounding people to go crazy. Was this really the descent of a god? Lin Xian walked forward and looked at Fire Dragon Lady. He said, "You have suffered." Fire Dragon Girl trembled in excitement. "Is it really you? Lin Xian, you're still alive?" The people of the Dragon Clan who were being suppressed felt their scalps go numb after hearing this. What? Lin Xian? He was Lin Wudi. How was this possible? Wasn't he already dead? These people had all gone crazy. The cultivators on the blazing star were shocked. They felt that this name was very familiar. However, they weren't from the buried Emperor's star. They only felt that the man in front of them was like a god. They didn't know anything else. Lin Xian waved his hand and broke the chains on Fire Dragon Lady. Then, he took out a pill and gave it to her. "You've suffered," Lin Xian said as he used his life force to quickly heal the other party's wounds. Soon, Fire Dragon Lady recovered. She shook her head. "I'm too happy. I'm not dreaming, right? Are you really alive?" Lin Xian nodded. "Of course, the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty can't kill me. Moreover, I'm here to take revenge." After saying this, his eyes exploded with extremely cold killing intent. Around him, the people on the blazing star all knelt down. "God, please save us." Lin Xian waved his hand and endless sword chi broke the chains on these people. He said, "I can let you regain your freedom. However, you can't go out yet. Hide. Soon, I'll send your enemies to hell. At that time, you'll be free." "Thank you, benefactor." These people were extremely grateful. They all hid. Fire Dragon Lady looked at the people around her and said, "What do you plan to do?" Lin Xian said, "I'll seal them. You can do whatever you want with them." "Okay." Fire Dragon Lady nodded. "Thank you." She walked over with killing intent in her eyes. During this period of time, the dragons around her would torture her. Today, she wanted 100 times more. 1,000 times more. Those dragon guards were all crying. "Fire Dragon Princess, please spare me. We didn't do it on purpose. We were just following orders. I beg you to spare my life." Begging for mercy was useless. Soon, they all let out miserable cries. Under Fire Dragon Lady's methods, these people were hovering between life and death. In the end, they all died in endless despair. "Great." Fire Dragon Lady snorted coldly. She had taken revenge for all these years. She turned around and said, "Are you really going to attack all the dragons here?" Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. Is there anyone from your Fire Dragon race here?" "I can save them." Fire Dragon Lady shook her head. "Our Fire Dragon race has been suppressed and many of our people have died. The other people are suppressed on the buried Emperor's star. As for me, I was captured by them. No, don't worry. When we return, I'll let your Fire Dragon race regain its glory. Now, follow me to kill the Scarlet Flame Dragon God." Fire Dragon Lady was more familiar with this place. Thus, she led the way. At the same time, on the other side, the dragon race also received some news. They naturally knew that more than 10 dragon guards had died. The experts of the Dragon Pearl clan furrowed their brows as they watched the dozens of light spots on the formation disappear. They gathered together. "What's going on? Who dares to attack our dragon race here? Could it be that there are experts hiding on this flame star? That's impossible. The strongest expert of this star world was killed by our Scarlet Flame Dragon God with one palm. Who else would dare to resist? Is it someone from another world?" After all, the universe was vast. Even if experts from other worlds came, they might not be able to do so. However, some people frowned. "Who dares to challenge our 10,000 Dragon Dynasty?" Someone said, "Not necessarily. For example, the Divine Union and the Black Seas Dragon Race." The moment these words were said, some people frowned. They thought of Morong Qingqing, the Crimson Dragon, and the others. If these people attacked, that would be troublesome. Someone snorted coldly. They were afraid that they wouldn't dare to come. If they came, they would directly kill them. Should we tell the Scarlet Flame Dragon God about this? Someone asked. An elder shook his head. Let's not disturb his cultivation for such a small matter. We can deal with it. Lin Xian didn't just want to take revenge on the Scarlet Flame Dragon God. He wanted to take revenge on the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty and its allies. All of them were terrified. Thus, wherever he went, the dragon race's martial artists would all die. In each spirit vein, there weren't many dragon guards, only a dozen or so. However, this was still a shocking number of them. After the dragon race's elders received the news, their expressions turned increasingly ugly. Damn it, quickly search. However, every time they reached a place, they realized that they were one step too late. Chapter 5194. The other party's attack was shocking, killing with one strike. Damn it, is he challenging us? Extremely terrifying killing intent erupted from the eyes of these Dragon Clan powerhouses. A Dragon Clan powerhouse said, "Look at the route they took. They went to every spirit vein along the way. It seemed that they planned to save the people on the fiery star one by one. This way, it would be easy. We can set up a trap at the previous spirit vein in advance. When he comes, we will catch all the enemies in one fell swoop." In the eyes of the Dragon Clan, the other party was not one person, but a group of people. That was why they could be so fast. The Dragon Clan elder said, "So what if it was a group of people? Gather our elite forces. This time, I will let him know what regret is." The Dragon Clan powerhouses headed towards the spiritual Fire Mountain range. This was a very exaggerated spirit vein, a top-grade spirit vein. The Dragon Clan had many guards to begin with, so the other party would definitely come here. After the Dragon Clan powerhouses arrived, they set up a formation and hid. They wanted to wait for the rabbit to appear. Lin Xian was indeed heading towards the spiritual Fire Mountain range. He was indeed prepared to kill his way here. He would not let go of any Dragon Clan member. He came to a mountain peak and looked at the mountain range in the distance. He narrowed his eyes. Fire Dragon Girl said that if we do this, the 10,000 Dragon Court will definitely receive the news. Maybe they have already set up a trap and are waiting for us. Are we really going to continue like this? Why don't we change places and catch them off guard? A trap? Lin Xian felt that there was indeed a hidden aura in front of him. He smiled. No need. He would go to the mountain range in front of him. Fire Dragon Girl was stunned, but there was danger ahead. Lin Xian smiled. In the face of absolute strength, all schemes were broken. I will let them die in the most despair. Let's go. Lin Xian flew forward. Fire Dragon Girl took a deep breath. Absolute strength. The other party was indeed qualified to say such words. Inside the spiritual Fire Mountain range, the Dragon Clan's guards were mining flame divine crystals. At this moment, two figures descended from the sky, causing countless people to look up at them. The warriors on the Crimson Flame planet were surprised. Who was this person? The Dragon Clan's guards snorted coldly. Who was it? How dare you behave atrociously here? Get down and kneel down. As soon as he finished speaking, a slap came from the sky. The face of the Dragon Clan's guard was shattered, and he was sent flying. He crashed into the mountain range. How dare you challenge the Dragon Clan? The other guards shouted angrily. The warriors on the blazing star were so frightened that they knelt on the ground. Who was this crazy person? 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. None of you will be able to leave alive today. Lin Xian's cold voice sounded out. He landed below. The guards of the dragon race at the front shouted angrily, "You actually dare to come?" As he spoke, he waved his hand and sent out a signal. Countless formations flickered in the surroundings as the silhouettes of experts appeared in the void one after another. They blotted out the sky and covered the earth. There were over 100 of them. Is it just the two of you? A Dragon Clan expert snorted coldly. They went to investigate the aura in the surroundings. They felt that there were definitely experts hiding. However, after looking around, he didn't find anything. Only the two people in front of him, They roared. In front of them, the flames on Lin Xian's body were monstrous. They had already enveloped everything like a volcano. Their souls couldn't see each other's faces clearly. Lin Xian said coldly, "What? How long has it been? Don't you know who I am? No matter who you are. You want to challenge us with just the two of you? You're courting death. Kill him." With an angry roar, the surrounding array formations activated countless sword arrays. The lightning formation and the flame formation covered the sky as they attacked. Sword energy swept across heaven and earth. Lightning descended from the sky. It carried destructive power. These array formations were enough to shatter everything. The entire world was completely pierced through. The people of the Crimson Flame Planet were so scared that they fainted. They couldn't resist this power at all. Boom, boom, boom. Fire Dragon retreated far away and dodged this attack. Lin Xian didn't retreat at all. He allowed the power of these array formations to strike his body. An earth-shattering sound rang out as the endless void shattered. When the people of the Dragon Clan saw this scene, they laughed out loud. "Stupid thing, how dare you challenge us? You can't even withstand a single blow. One move can kill you instantly." They laughed complacently. However, when the energy disappeared, the smiles on their faces disappeared. Instead, they were horrified. It was as if they had seen a ghost. How is this possible? You're not dead? They realized that the man in front of them was unharmed. There wasn't even a drop of blood. The other party stood there. Impossible. These array formations were extremely terrifying. A mid-stage great sage would definitely die if he encountered them. Even if he was a great sage, he would have to resist for a while. However, the other party didn't resist at all. How strong is the other party's defense? Is this the trap you set up? You can't even withstand a single blow. Your strength really disappoints me. Show me what else you have. Otherwise, it'll be my turn to counterattack." Lin Xian's voice rang out. The experts of the Dragon Clan had ugly expressions. The elders of the Dragon Clan roared and attacked with all their might. Hundreds of experts of the Dragon Clan attacked together. The Dragon Clan's magical powers covered the sky and earth as they attacked below. The entire mountain range shook violently and shattered into pieces. At this moment, they disregarded everything and wanted to kill the other party. "It's over. We're going to die." The warriors on the fiery star were in despair. Such power was enough to kill them. At this moment, they realized that a golden palm enveloped them like a mountain, blocking all the attacks. Lin Xian stretched out his palm. On one hand, he protected the warriors on the fiery star. On the other hand, he was facing an overwhelming attack. He threw out another punch. One punch shattered heaven and earth. The magical powers that filled the sky were all shattered. The hundreds of experts of the Dragon Clan felt their blood boil. How is this possible? Are they crazy? The other party's punch is so powerful. Who are you? They roared. They had guessed that it might be Morong Qingqing, Monkey, and the others. However, it was completely different from the person in front of them. The flames on Lin Xian's body slowly disappeared, revealing his true face. "Why? Don't you recognize me? It's you." When the elders of the Dragon Clan saw this face, they were completely stunned. How could they not recognize this face? They would never forget it even in their dreams. "Lin Wudi, this is impossible. If you're dead, how could you appear here?" They roared crazily. Could it be that he's not dead? But that's too unbelievable. An extreme weapon and 2 full-strength attacks. If he could survive, how terrifying would he be? But what's going on with this person? No, I have to report this to the Blazing Dragon Army. This is big news. They wanted to escape. However, the surrounding flames surged into the sky, forming a world of flames that blocked everyone's path. Lin Xian would not let anyone escape. Chapter 5195. Lin Xian's appearance stunned these people from the Dragon Clan. For a moment, they were all stunned. However, Lin Xian acted decisively and slammed his palm forward. The person in front instantly turned into a bloody mist, his body pierced through. The few people beside him also vomited blood and flew backward. Miserable cries could be heard. This made the people of the Dragon Clan come back to their senses. Damn it! Quickly counterattack. An elder of the Dragon Clan shouted angrily, his body surrounded by terrifying lightning. He was from the Thunder Dragon Clan. However, just as he finished speaking, his pupils suddenly constricted. He discovered that Lin Xian had unknowingly arrived in front of him, less than half a meter away. At this distance, sensing the other party's aura, the Thunder Dragon Clan elder's body trembled. He couldn't control himself and wanted to kneel down. Die! He shouted angrily. He didn't allow himself to be afraid of a young man. He slapped out with his palm. The lightning on this palm transformed into a thunder dragon that roared crazily, shattering the endless void. With a boom, this palm slapped Lin Xian's body. Lin Xian's body swayed, and the endless lightning disappeared. How was this possible? This elder was stunned. He was a mid-stage great sage and a terrifying expert. Could it be that this palm couldn't break the other party's defense? The other party was only an early-stage great sage. How could the difference be so great? Lin Xian sneered. Ignorant ant. He slapped towards the other party's shoulder. With a crack, the other party's shoulder instantly shattered. White bones appeared and blood dripped. That pain almost caused the elder of the Thunder Dragon tribe to faint. The difference was too great. He wanted to retreat. However, Lin Xian waved his hand. A saber light appeared and directly cut off the other party's legs. A miserable voice sounded. The Thunder Dragon Clan elder screamed crazily. He quickly retreated. The laws surrounded his body, and his broken body healed. Then, in the next moment, a large hand enveloped him. All the bones in his body shattered, and blood dripped from his fingertips. No, the Thunder Dragon Clan elder was terrified. However, it was useless. Under this palm, he turned into a bloody mist and no longer existed. Lin Xian loosened his grip and looked at Ba Huang. The surrounding people looked terrified. The other party was too strong. Everyone, attacked together. An angry roar sounded. Those people once again attacked from all directions. Lin Xian allowed these people to attack as he struck out with his palms. More than a dozen figures turned into a bloody mist. Then, with another kick, the 7 figures shattered into pieces. It was as if Lin Xian had entered an unstoppable realm, sweeping through all directions. In the blink of an eye, half of the 100 Dragon Clan powerhouses had fallen. As for the remaining ones, they were all injured, and their faces were filled with fear. Damn it, Lin Wudi, don't be too arrogant. Do you want to become enemies with the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? Another middle-aged man walked out and roared madly. Think clearly about the consequences of being our enemy. You can live once, but can you live a second time? Boom. As soon as he finished speaking, he flew out as if he had been struck by lightning. Cracks appeared all over his body. Lin Xian came to the other party's side, grabbed the other party's head and sneered. How dare you threaten me? You want to kill me a second time? Do you think that's possible? With a wave of his hands, the other party's limbs were broken. A miserable voice was heard. I'm an elder of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? If you kill me, you're dead meat. Is that so? Lin Xian snorted coldly and directly shattered the other party's head. The elder's corpse fell from the sky. The other people's scalps went numb as they begged for mercy. Lin Gongzi, please spare our lives. We had no choice. Lin Gongzi, on account of the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty, why don't you stop now? We'll apologize to you. Apologize? Lin Xian's eyes turned cold as he smiled. Sure. Everyone kneel down, cripple your own cultivation, kneel on the ground, kowtow to me, and apologize. I'll give you a quick death. What? Kowtow and apologize? You still have to die. The surrounding Dragon Clan people were furious. The other party was too despicable. Don't go too far. Another old man roared furiously. However, he was split apart by Lin Xian's palm. Lin Xian grabbed the other party's broken body and laughed coldly. Going too far? Your 10,000 Dragon Dynasty used an extreme weapon against a young junior like me. Don't you think you're going too far? Now, you have more than 100 powerhouses against me. Don't you think you're going too far? What right do you have to be arrogant in front of me? Lin Xin roared. Just this voice alone was enough to destroy the old man's soul. Break out! Break out! Roars sounded one after another. Lin Xin and the others couldn't win at all. They could only quickly attack the array formation. However, this array formation was set up by Lin Xin, and it contained an extremely powerful 9-yang divine flame. The power of this flame caused countless people to burn when they got close. They retreated in fear. Damn it! Let's fight it out. These people shouted angrily. Lin Xin snorted coldly. You want to fight me to the death? He formed a seal with his palms, and 6 suns appeared on his body, sweeping in all directions. It was as if 6 real suns had descended into the world. The entire world was instantly set ablaze. The scorching heat caused the world to burn, and the people inside screamed crazily. No! What is this? Why do I feel so scared? My body can't withstand the terrifying flames. Screams of terror rang out one after another. Under the 6 suns, everyone was set ablaze. They wanted to extinguish the flames, but they couldn't. In the end, everything disappeared into thin air. Everyone was reduced to ashes, and nothing remained. The 6 suns flew into Lin Xin's body and disappeared. The flames between heaven and earth disappeared. The people on the flame planet were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. Dead. More than 100 dragon race powerhouses had all fallen. One had to know that these people could sweep through their entire world. But now, they couldn't even withstand a single blow from a single person. What kind of power was this? They looked at Lin Xin with respect as if they were facing a god, and all of them prostrated on the ground. Lin Xin waved his hand and split the chains on these people. Then he said, "You guys are free." The next moment, he soared into the sky and flew into the distance. Fire Dragon Girl hurriedly followed. The two vanished, leaving behind only the shocked cultivators below. Flame Planet. In the magnificent Flame Hall, some dragon race powerhouses were extremely shocked at this moment. Something had happened, and more than 100 experts had fallen. This made them unable to believe it. What was going on? A sage-level elder walked over and asked coldly. The people below hurriedly recounted the matter. That sage-level elder's face turned gloomy after hearing. There was an enemy? You guys even set up a trap. Who was the enemy? How did they fall? Go, quickly follow me to the Fire Spirit Mountain Range. These people soared into the sky. They headed to the Fire Spirit Mountain Range. When they arrived, they were dumbfounded. The Fire Spirit Mountain Range was shattered, and blood swept across heaven and earth, turning into a sea of blood. At this moment, there was no one left. Apart from the corpses of the dragon race powerhouses, there was nothing else. They were all dead. These people who rushed over couldn't believe it. More than 100 experts had all fallen, and not a single one was alive. Who was it that did this? Could it be that a top family had come? Chapter 5196. Who exactly is it? How dare you attack our dragon clan? You must have eaten the heart of a leopard. The elders of the dragon race roared frantically. As for the other young men and guards, they were terrified. They felt a wave of fear in their hearts. Too powerful. Someone was targeting the dragon race. Could it be that they were going to be wiped out? At this moment, an elder of the dragon race spoke coldly. What kind of joke is this? Our remaining people are even stronger. There are a few saints and even the Scarlet Flame Dragon Overlord. Do you think those people can withstand it no matter how strong they are? Yes, that's right. When these words were spoken, the young martial artists regained their confidence. They still had a lot of experts on their side. They would definitely be able to withstand it. Another elder spoke and walked back. At the same time, he gathered everyone back. We will guard the main hall. If those people want to make a move on us, they will definitely attack our main hall. We will decide the victor then. These people quickly returned to the main hall. At the same time, they sent out a signal to get everyone to return quickly. Those martial artists of the dragon race frowned. What was going on? Asking them to return at this time? Did something happen? When they returned and heard that many of their elite experts were killed, they were all stunned. This was impossible. This was impossible, right? Who could be so audacious? Find the enemy and dismember him into pieces. Over 100 experts had meticulously set up a trap. How terrifying was that force? But now, they were all wiped out. They didn't even know who the enemy was. We will know soon enough. I think that group of people will definitely come. They will guard the main hall. On the other side, Lin Xian left the Spirit Fire mountain range and went to the other mountain ranges. He realized that the people there had already left. Lin Xian frowned. It seemed like they had already received the news and gathered together. He looked at Fire Dragon Lady and asked, "Do you know where their base is?" Fire Dragon Lady nodded and led the way. 2 days later, Lin Xian stopped and looked at the majestic palace and residence in front of him. His eyes flickered with astonishment. Is this the place? He looked at Fire Dragon Lady and said, "Wait here. I will go there myself." Fire Dragon Lady took a deep breath. "Young master, be careful. Don't worry. With just them, they won't be able to hurt me." Lin Xian transformed into a streak of light and flew into the distance. Many guards were guarding the Dragon Clan's mansion. Some people were chatting. "Humph, I think those enemies don't even dare to come." "That's right, they only dare to launch sneak attacks. They don't dare to fight us head-on. Who do those people think they are? Since they dared to come to my Dragon Clan, I will definitely destroy them." The eyes of these guards were filled with arrogance. "Kill me? I'm standing right here. You can try." At this moment, a voice rang out. As soon as he said this, all the guards in the mansion were stunned. "Who's talking?" The next moment, they saw a figure walking over. "Who are you?" They saw that the person opposite them was covered in flames, as if he was a fire god. The terrifying heat spread out in all directions, causing the entire void to tremble. No one answered them. What answered him was only a terrifying flame. The two guards were instantly reduced to ashes. The surrounding guards were also alarmed and rushed over. Who was it? It was the enemy. Attack quickly. They quickly took action. Lin Xian waved his hand and shot out a fire dragon that filled the sky. It covered the sky and covered the earth as it charged forward. Those guards were enveloped and let out miserable cries in the end. Damn it, what was going on? What a terrifying flame. This was the aura of the Dragon Clan. Why was it the Dragon Clan? They went crazy and let out miserable cries. These guards were terrified and in despair. Previously, they gathered together and chatted. They even mocked their opponents for only daring to launch sneak attacks and not fighting head-on. In their opinion, no one was a match for the Dragon Clan. But now, the other party gently waved his hand, and the countless Dragon Clan warriors on their side found it difficult to resist. Was there such a terrifying person in the world? And it was an expert of the Dragon Clan. They couldn't figure out who the other party was? In despair, these people were all burned to ashes. The commotion here naturally attracted the attention of the people in the mansion. There was the aura of flames. Not good. Our people are dying. It seemed that the enemy was here. Let's go. Some Dragon Clan experts rushed out. Before they could go out, they saw the door of the mansion shatter with a bang. Immediately after, the fire dragon covered the sky and charged over. The Dragon Clan warriors at the front were all sent flying and vomited large mouthfuls of blood. Their bodies were charred black. What a terrifying flame. These people were terrified as if they were facing a great enemy. They wondered how many enemies had come this time. Thousands? Tens of thousands? They couldn't be sure. Everyone's gaze turned to the front. In the next moment, a figure appeared in front of them. A figure surrounded by flames walked over with large strides. Every step he took caused the sky to collapse and the earth to crack. It was as if a fire god had descended. What a terrifying figure. This person was definitely a top-notch expert. The Dragon Clan experts were extremely nervous. They didn't know how many more people there would be after this. But after waiting for a long time, they found that there was only one figure in front of them. There was no one else. What? Only one person? They were stunned. This was impossible. They couldn't believe that a person dared to be so bold. Quickly investigate and see if there was any trap. These people stretched out their souls and searched everywhere, but they found that there was no one around. There was only one person in front of them. Lin Xian smashed the mountain gate with a palm and walked in. Looking at the stunned faces around, he laughed coldly. Where was the red flame dragon god? Tell him to scram out and die. Hearing this voice, the dragon clan warriors in front all came back to their senses. They hollered in rage. Damn it! Who are you? Why are you attacking the dragon clan? You dare to be rude to the red flame dragon god? Do you want to die? Furious roars rang out one after another. Lin Xian scoffed coldly. He waved his hand, and a terrifying light flew out. Instantly, the few people who roared screamed and turned into ashes. The others were terrified. The power of the flame was too terrifying. At this moment, an elder walked out and said, "We don't know who you are and don't know your grudge with the Dragon Clan. But I want to remind you that the Dragon Clan belongs to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. The 10,000 Dragon Dynasty is an emperor race, and I don't need to say how strong they are. If you offend us, you offend the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty. How many heads do you think you have? How dare you fight against us? Lin Wudi, have you heard of him? He is a young emperor, but wasn't he still killed by us? Kowtow and apologize obediently and accept our punishment. Otherwise, you will end up like Lin Wudi." Why were they talking nonsense with him? No matter how strong he was, could he be a match for an emperor race? Once an extreme weapon was used, even if he had 10,000 lives, it wouldn't be enough. As he finished speaking, the eyes of the Dragon Clan warriors shone with a cold light. They regained their confidence. Chapter 5197. Lin Xian's eyes flashed when he heard the other party's words. These people thought that he was dead. How dare they threaten him with extreme weapons? He looked at the smug dragon tribe elder in front of him and suddenly attacked. He threw a punch. The flames on it surged into the sky and turned into the illusion of 6 suns. It was like the 6 Paths world. This was the combination of the divine fire and the 6 Paths fist. With a boom, the dragon tribe elder instantly shattered and turned into a bloody mist. His soul was burned by the flames, and his body and soul were destroyed. He was dead. The surrounding dragon tribe warriors were dumbfounded when they saw this scene. They could not believe that a powerful elder of the dragon clan had been killed by the other party in one move. Who was this person? He was not human at all. This was something that only a demon god could do. Damn it! At this moment, someone roared. He dared to kill our elder. Kill him. These people roared crazily. Their eyes were red as they strode over. They surrounded Lin Xian. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Kill me? I think you're the ones going to hell. Everyone, attack together. Don't hold back. These people from the dragon tribe were completely enraged and walked out. With a roar, the dragon blood on their bodies surged and a terrifying aura swept in all directions. Some people stretched out their terrifying dragon claws, and some threw out their terrifying dragon tails. Some people changed their bodies and directly turned into giant dragons. One man was surrounded by lightning and turned into a 1,000 feet long lightning dragon. He roared at the sky and shook the 9 heavens. Another person turned into a terrifying fire dragon. There was also a sword dragon, cloud dragon, and wind dragon. They covered the sky and earth and roared in the 9 heavens. On the fiery star, the native warriors looked at this scene in the distance and knelt on the ground in fear. Heavens, this scene made them feel like they were watching a legend. The dragon tribe was angry. Who dared to anger them? In the distance, Fire Dragon Lady also clenched her fists nervously. Although Lin Xian was strong, would he be able to withstand 10 million Dragon Clan experts alone? With just you? Although Lin Xian was surrounded, he looked in all directions with a disdainful expression. The next moment, he took a step forward, and the divine fire on his body erupted. The power of the 9 young divine body was displayed, transforming into 6 sun phantoms that revolved around him. The moment the 6 suns appeared, monstrous flames shattered the firmament. At this moment, many powerful beings of the dragon race were sent flying out as their massive bodies smashed through everything. Lei Long's body was charred black as he screamed in pain. The sword dragon howled in grief. Wind dragon and cloud dragon were badly mutilated. At this moment, just the aura alone was enough to make them unable to withstand it. Lin Xian's strength was top-notch, and even the Emperor's son might not be a match for him. In addition, he had absorbed the Dragon Prince's bloodline before, and then he had fought his way out of death. He obtained a wisp of Purple Sun Divine Fire. This allowed his 9-yang divine body to make another breakthrough. Its current power was truly terrifying to the extreme. Therefore, how could these people from the Dragon Clan be a match for him? Damn it, why was he so strong? Being blasted away by the flames on the other party's body, those Dragon Clan people kept roaring. Their faces were filled with terror. Let me do it. At this moment, an old man walked over. His body was covered in dragon scales. He was an elder, a saint-level elder. After he walked over, he sent out a palm strike. It was like a cloud of fire that enveloped heaven and earth. Lin Xian snorted coldly and sent out a punch, causing a sky-shaking sound to echo. The other party's palm shattered and was sent flying. No, those people from the Dragon Clan were about to kneel. This was a saint, a late-stage great sage that was extremely powerful. Who could be a match for him? But now, he was injured by a single punch from the other party. The other party should be a peak-level saint, right? How could such a person come? So powerful. That Saint Elder's face was filled with terror. His body was shaking, and his chi and blood were surging. Lin Xian looked at the other party with surprise. You actually didn't die. It seems like your physique is extraordinary. He was indeed shocked. It might be a casual punch, but with his current strength, ordinary saints wouldn't be able to withstand it. Cracks appeared on the other party's body, but it didn't shatter. It was indeed out of his expectations. The Saint Lord Elder's face turned extremely ugly. The other party could kill a saint with a single punch? What a joke. He was a member of the Dragon Clan. His bloodline was powerful and his physique was unparalleled. But now, he was receiving such an evaluation. He couldn't accept it. Damn it, I am going to kill you. He rushed over and transformed his body. The dragon scales on his body burst out. The terrifying dragon claws had sharp power and seemed to be even more terrifying than saint artifacts. 2 pairs of dragon claws slammed onto Lin Xian's body. Haha, die. The Saint Elder sneered. The surrounding Dragon Clan members also laughed when they were hit by this kind of power. Lin Xian's body would definitely shatter, and he would definitely die. Clang. A sky-shaking sound echoed, and the Saint Elder's expression became terrified. He realized that he couldn't break through Lin Xian's defense. How is this possible? Is Lin Xian wearing a divine armor? Lin Xian looked at the other party and laughed. You are too weak and can't even break through my defense. While speaking, he reached out his hand and grabbed onto the other party's dragon claws. He gently waved his hand. There was a cracking sound, and the pair of dragon claws that were even more terrifying than saint artifacts were instantly broken. The Saint Elder let out a miserable cry. Lin Xian's strength was beyond his imagination. He wanted to escape, but it was already too late. Lin Xian's leg flew out and kicked his body. It was as if he was struck by lightning. He flew out and smashed into countless palaces. His body was shattered into countless pieces and scattered all over the ground. One kick and his soul was destroyed. He died again. The surrounding Dragon Clan experts were terrified. This time, it was a saint who made a move. But he couldn't even block one move? What is wrong with this person? Why is he so terrifying? Damn it. 2 people flew over from the distant palace. It was a middle-aged man and a middle-aged woman. They were both saints. After they arrived, they said coldly, everyone should form a formation and kill him with formations. The 2 of them took out 2 saint artifacts from their storage rings. The terrifying saint artifacts bloomed with radiance and attacked at the same time. The formation bombarded him, but Lin Xian wasn't afraid. His physique was able to defend against everything. Then he stomped his foot and charged forward. He stretched out his palms and attacked the 2 saints. Damn it, how dare you? The 2 saints shouted angrily. Was Lin Xian going to fight the 2 of them alone? He was looking down on them. The middle-aged man on the left roared. In his hand, there was a bronze hammer. As it swayed, it carried the power of laws. It was a terrifying saint artifact. The woman on the right held a pagoda in her hand. As it opened and closed, it was as if millions of mountains were falling from the sky. The two of them used all their strength. The entire world was constantly shattering. The surrounding Dragon Clan martial artists also roared crazily. Kill him! They attacked from afar and activated the formation at the same time. The monstrous power was all aimed at Lin Xian. However, Lin Xian snorted coldly. He waved his fists and attacked the two saint artifacts. A voice that shook the sky sounded. At the same time, the phantoms of 6 suns appeared and flew in all directions. Those suns shredded the formation and enveloped the Dragon Clan martial artists. Those who were hit were all turned into ashes. The others also vomited blood and were sent flying. Lin Xian entered a realm where no one could stop him. Chapter 5198. Damn it! You dare? When the two saints saw this scene, they yelled out in anger. They wanted to help, but Lin Xian's hands stopped their saint artifacts. You want to leave now? The power on his palms exploded and turned into 2 terrifying sword lights that slashed forward. The 2 saint artifacts were repelled, and the 2 saints' chi and blood were in turmoil. He is too strong. Let's fight it out with him. Union of man and artifact. The 2 saints' bodies fused with the saint artifacts and quickly rushed over. Rumbling sounds echoed and Lin Xian's arms were numb. Incredible, the two of them still had such methods. His face was gloomy as he formed a seal with his left hand. Demonic God Seal. With a palm strike, the pagoda was sent flying with a bang. The middle-aged woman vomited blood, and half of her body turned into blood mist. On the other side, the demonic god finger flew out and tapped on the bronze hammer. The middle-aged man's body was penetrated, and he let out a miserable scream. How can he be so strong? Let's escape. The two saints had ugly expressions. If they continued fighting, the remaining people would all fall. It seemed like they could only escape. Lin Xian looked at the two of them and sneered. Want to escape? Today, none of you can escape. He slowly raised his hands, and the 9 suns split the heavens, swept across the world. A vast flame danced in the air and swept out in all directions. On his body, there were 9 sun illusions, and 6 of them were extremely solid. They were like real suns that instantly shrouded the world. These flames burst out together. The 9 suns' divine flames were the flames of extreme yang, and its power was extremely terrifying. Within these flames, there was a trace of faint purple radiance. It was the purple sun's divine flames. The power of the Emperor's flame. It swept over with a monstrous status. At this moment, the void shattered and the palaces and pavilions collapsed. The surrounding people were instantly penetrated by the flames. The 2 great saints had ugly expressions as well. Quickly retreat. The 2 of them frantically retreated. However, they were hit by the 2 suns and their bodies were ignited. No! They roared frantically and used all their strength to defend. However, the saint artifacts also melted in the sun. They were completely mad and in despair. Red Flame Ancestor, save us. At the most critical moment, they sent out a cry for help. There was an even more terrifying saint in seclusion here, the Scarlet Flame Saint. He was probably the only one who could save them. However, it was too late. As soon as they shouted, their bodies melted and their souls were extinguished. Everything in the world ceased to exist in the raging flames. When the 9 sun illusions disappeared, the entire mansion was razed to the ground. Lin Xian was the only one standing in the pitch-black land, looking like a demon god. In the distance, the people on the blazing star looked at the scene in the sky in shock. They knelt down and kept worshipping. The appearance of 9 suns meant that the sun god had descended. Are they here to save us? They crawled towards the distance with hope. On the other side, in the void, Fire Dragon Lady's pupils contracted. She could sense that the aura of the Dragon Clan was rapidly disappearing. After that, he could no longer feel it. They had all died. So many elders, including the 3 great saints, had fallen, and this was all done by Lin Xian alone. He didn't use a legendary saint weapon, nor did he use the power of an extreme Dao weapon. Was he already so terrifying with his own strength? No wonder he dared to go alone. Perhaps he could really kill the Scarlet Flame Saint. After all, Lin Xian's trump card was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian stood on the ground and looked at the ashes around him. His eyes were cold. These people deserved it. If they didn't kill him, they wouldn't have ended up like this. However, the battle wasn't over yet. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Lord hadn't come out yet. Lin Xian wouldn't leave. His eyes flickered with the power of reincarnation as he looked around. Soon, he looked down at the ground. With a cold snort, he stomped his feet and the ground cracked open, turning into a valley that was 1,000,000 miles wide. Lin Xian said coldly, "Are you still going to hide under the ground? Come out and accept your death. Who is it? How dare you disturb my cultivation?" Beneath the ground, a cold voice rang out, bringing with it endless fury. The clouds in the sky were crumbling. At the same time, there were 4 other cold voices. "How dare you disturb a saint's cultivation? Are you tired of living? Men, take him down." 4 figures flew out. These were 4 young people, the geniuses of the 10,000 Dragon Court. After they came out, they wanted to summon the dragon race's experts. But looking at the surroundings that had been razed to the ground, they were stunned. Where was this? Where was their dragon race's residence? "Saint, this is bad." The 4 young geniuses' voices trembled. "Humph, didn't I tell you to be calm when you encounter things? You have to be calm even if the primordial demon mountain collapses in front of you. Have you forgotten what I've taught you?" A cold snort sounded. The 4 young people's faces turned pale. They were so scared that they didn't dare to speak. The voice came from below again. "I want to see what can make you so panicked." A figure stepped into the air and rose into the air. He carried a powerful flaming dragon's might as he came to the ground. After coming out, he was also stunned. His pupils constricted. What was going on? The surrounding ground was charred black as if it had been burned by fire. Where was their dragon race's residence? Where were the dragon race's saints? What was going on? The red flame dragon god shouted coldly, "We don't know." The 4 young people were so scared that they were about to cry. In the end, they raised their heads and pointed at the figure in front of them. "It's him. We saw him after we came out. He was the one who attacked." Someone dared to attack in the dragon race's territory? The red flame dragon god turned his head. In the next moment, he frowned. "Who are you?" he shouted coldly. He felt a familiar aura from the other party, but he felt that it was an illusion. It couldn't be that person. "Red Flame Dragon God, have you gone senile? You don't even recognize me." Lin Xian laughed coldly. "I'm here to take revenge on you." "Take revenge on me? Who are you? Stop pretending to be mysterious." The Red Flame Dragon God snorted coldly. "I've killed too many people. Who do you think you are? Reveal your identity." "I won't kill nameless people." Lin Xian laughed. "Since you want to die, I'll let you know." The flames on his body slowly disappeared and all of them entered his body. In the next moment, his face appeared. "Why? Do you remember? It's you." The red flame dragon god looked at the young and handsome face, dumbfounded. How could he forget this person? One had to know that the dragon race's experts had imprinted this face deeply in their souls. Because it was this person who killed the dragon prince. He was their peerless enemy. However, this was something that happened a few years ago. Didn't he die under an extreme weapon? Why would he appear here? Impossible. The red flame dragon god shook his head frantically. You can't be that person. That person is already dead. His heart and soul are destroyed. He can't be revived. Who are you? Are you his friend? Are you trying to scare me with this method? Ridiculous. Go to hell. The red flame dragon god was furious. He turned into lightning and charged over. Chapter 5199. The Scarlet Flame Dragon Overlord wasn't an ordinary saint. His strength was much stronger than the previous 2 saints. Therefore, the power of this punch was shocking. The void in front of them shattered and spread for thousands of miles, turning into a black hole. Was he dead? The 4 young geniuses sneered. Going against the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty was courting death, But soon, they were stunned and didn't dare to think about it anymore, because they realized that the young man had appeared beside them. After so many years, your strength hasn't improved at all. Lin Xian dodged the attack and sneered. How is that possible? The scarlet flame dragon god's pupils constricted. Did he dodge? He didn't notice it at all. Could it be that Lin Xian had become stronger? I don't believe that you're that person. I don't believe that anyone can survive an extreme weapon. One had to know that Lin Xian didn't have an extreme weapon when he attacked him. Under such circumstances, the Dragon Prince would definitely die. How could Lin Xian survive? Therefore, all of this was an illusion. He definitely wasn't that Lin Wuti. Kill. With a roar, he charged out. Scarlet Flame Divine Palm. He struck out with his palm like a god's palm, bringing with it a monstrous power. This was the ultimate technique of the dragon race. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian didn't retreat this time. He snorted coldly, clenched his fist, and punched out. Boom. The two collided. It was like two worlds clashing. With the two of them as the center, a terrifying aura swept out in all directions. The void instantly shattered. The four geniuses were terrified. Oh no, they retreated. In an instant, they were enveloped by the remnant power of the energy. The four of them didn't even have time to scream before their souls were destroyed. Damn it! The Scarlet Flame Dragon God's face turned ugly when he saw this. Dead. Are the four geniuses dead? One had to know that they were the four geniuses of their family. He had thought highly of them, so he brought them along to guide them. But now, they were killed by the remnant power of the energy. Their deaths were too humiliating. But soon, he was no longer in the mood to care about the four geniuses, because his expression was filled with fear and shock. In front of him, Lin Xian's fist blocked his palm. Even his palm began to tremble. The flames on it were suppressing him. How could this be? He had fought with Lin Wuti before. The other party was strong, but he was no match for him. It was only because the other party launched a sneak attack on him and used a sacred weapon that he was able to injure him. Otherwise, the other party wouldn't be a match for him at all. But now, the other party had easily blocked this palm strike with just the strength of his physique. The power of the divine body. The red flame dragon monarch gritted his teeth. He was truly terrified. The nine-yang divine body in this world was probably only Lin Xian. Even if he imparted it to others, it would be impossible for them to cultivate it to such a level. It would take at least a few hundred years. In just a few short years, it was absolutely impossible. Therefore, the person in front of him was undoubtedly Lin Xian. But how did the other party survive? Two full-powered attacks from an apex weapon, yet the other party was still alive. This was too shocking. What kind of secrets did the other party possess? He didn't dare to think about it anymore. If such a person were to grow up, it would be a crisis for the Dragon Clan. No, I have to inform my family. Even if he had to disregard everything, he had to use an extreme weapon to kill the other party. He quickly retreated, wanting to send a message. However, Lin Xian took a step forward. Shadowless Heaven's net instantly closed in on the other party. What? Do you want to repeat the scene from before? Do you think I will give you a chance to send a message to the 10,000 Dragon Dynasty? You have no chance. Lin Xian punched out. The red flame dragon monarch was forced back and spat out blood. Damn it. He retreated explosively, turning into a bolt of lightning and charging into the distance. He would leave and then send a message to his family. He turned into a dragon shadow, passed through the clouds, and disappeared. You want to leave? Lin Xian snorted coldly. A pair of demon god wings appeared on his back. He spread them and soared into the sky. His speed had also reached the limit. In an instant, he caught up to the red flame dragon monarch. How was that possible? The red flame dragon monarch was terrified. Why are you so fast? Lin Xian sneered. It seems that you are too confident. Today, I will let you see my true strength. He roared, and 9 suns appeared on his body. The 6 suns were incomparably real. They condensed in his hands, and a flaming divine sword appeared. 9 suns split the sky. He waved his hands. At this moment, the entire planet shook violently, and countless cracks appeared below. The The sky above the nine heavens was split into two by the sword. No. Sensing this scene, the red flame dragon monarch frantically blocked. What kind of sword was this? It was too terrifying. Block it. He burned his dragon blood and roared crazily. Red flame fire god. The flames on his body condensed and emitted a monstrous light, forming the illusion of a fire god to resist the sword. An earth-shattering sound rang out, destroying the world. Below, the wind and rain blew. Countless cultivators of the fiery planet knelt on the ground. This power was enough to destroy their planet. Fortunately, the two of them had arrived above the nine heavens. Most of the power was transmitted to the outer space. The pitch-black universe also lit up at this moment. It was like an aurora that spread in all directions. Some people in the universe felt it and were instantly terrified. They looked into the distance. Heavens, what was that? Two fire element powerhouses were fighting. Was that a fire god? What was the other one? Was there a sun attacking a planet? They saw 6 suns turn into a divine sword and slash at the fire god. Then, the entire universe seemed to be split into two. Endless cracks spread toward this side. Some people who wanted to get closer to watch the battle instantly fled. It was too terrifying. Roar. An angry roar rang out in the world. The illusion of the fire god was split into two. The flames in half of the starry sky disappeared, and the figure of the red flame dragon monarch appeared. At this moment, the red flame dragon monarch was stunned in midair. His body trembled and his pupils constricted. The light in his eyes disappeared. Impossible. A crack slowly appeared between his eyebrows. Then, it spread across his entire body. His body was split into two, and his soul was also disappearing. He was in despair. The other party actually insta-killed him with one sword. What had the other party experienced in the past few years? Not only did he not die, but his strength had also increased greatly. The 10,000 Dragons dynasty was in danger. He could imagine what kind of blow the 10,000 Dragons dynasty would suffer. He wanted to send a message, but he couldn't do it anymore. Boom. The broken corpse fell and burned. In the universe, it turned into a bright flame that illuminated the world. Then, it quickly disappeared. A few years later, the red flame dragon monarch was killed by Lin Xian with one sword. Lin Xian retracted the 6 sun illusions. His expression was cold. He turned around and flew towards the fiery world below. Below, the cultivators on the fiery planet looked up at the sky. When they saw Lin Xian return, they kept bowing to him. Lin Xian stood above the 9 heavens and said loudly, "The 10,000 Dragons dynasty, the red flame dragon monarch, and the other dragons were all destroyed." You're tuning in to the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.